conditional, so please go choose safety. My Lord is willing, have you talked to him lately? I know we fall down and get up, yeah, we be tripping. Perking your ear until the Lord, can you please just listen? So much evil everywhere you look and turn. Watch you fight and pray, I'm gonna need you to learn. We won't win if we stay stagnant and won't rise above in a world filled with hate. Show more love. Show more love. In a world filled with hate, show more love. This ain't a game, y'all. Enemy out here stealing lives, y'all. Playing our face and we distracted when we see them take they fall, y'all. Wake up, we out here sleeping and the enemy steady creeping. Can you hear me? Wake up or stay stuck. We need the light, and that's some more love. Christ is that love. We need love, much more love. Christ is that love. We need love, much more love. Don't really care what they doing over there. Doing my own thing, staying in my own lane. I'm not judging. You go ahead, baby girl, do you? Is it cool? It's cool. But I don't wanna be nobody else. I wanna be myself. I'm not a blending. I'm not a blended kind of girl. Telling how you could see the pain these people living in, all while trying to fit in. No true purpose, just paying off a temporary gain. Gaining the whole world, but losing your soul. I really hate watching y'all fold. Everything is conditional, so please go choose safety. My Lord is willing, have you talked to him lately? I know we fall down and get up, yeah, we be tripping. Perking your ear until the Lord, can you please just listen? So much evil everywhere you look and turn. Watch you fight and pray, I'm gonna need you to learn. We won't win if we stay stagnant and won't rise above in a world filled with hate. Show more love. Show more love. In a world filled with hate, show more love. This ain't a game, y'all. Enemy out here stealing lives, y'all. Playing our face and we distracted when we see them take they fall, y'all. Wake up, we out here sleeping and the enemy steady creeping. Can you hear me? Wake up or stay stuck. We need the light, and that's some more love. Christ is that love. We need love, much more love. Christ is that love. We need love, much more Don't really care what they doing over there. Doing my own thing, staying in my own lane. I'm not judging. You go ahead, baby girl, do you? Is it cool? It's cool. But I don't wanna be nobody else. I wanna be myself. I'm not a blending. I'm not a blended kind of girl. Telling how you could see the pain these people living in, all while trying to fit in. No true purpose, just paying off a temporary gain. Gaining the whole world, but losing your soul. I really hate watching y'all fold. Everything is conditional, so please go choose safety. My Lord is willing, have you talked to him lately? I know we fall down and get up, yeah, we be tripping. Perking your ear until the Lord, can you please just listen? So much evil everywhere you look and turn. Watch you fight and pray, I'm gonna need you to learn. you won't rise above in a world filled with hate. Show more love. Show more love in a world filled with hate. Show more love. This ain't a game, y'all. Enemy out here stealing lives, y'all. Playing our face and we distracted when we see them take they fall, y'all. Wake up, we out here sleeping and the enemy steady creeping. Can you hear me? Wake up or stay stuck. We need the light, and that's some more love. Christ is that love. We need love, much more love. Christ is that love. We need love, much more love.
Hey everyone, greetings. I appreciate you all for waiting. I think I changed the time once. Even after changing the time, there was a delay. My apologies. Thank you all for hanging in there with me. Shout out to the people that are already here. Hey Kojak, I appreciate you so much. Please remember to hit the like button, as Kojak stated. Feel free to share the stream. That's one of the biggest ways to support the show. You can also send a cash app if you feel led. Molove 8686. You can cash app Bolo as well. Bolo TV 16. And you can hit the super chat. Hey Herbie, good to see you. Thank you so much for tuning in. I know I'm on CP time. I get it. We rise together. Good to see you. So much love. Yes. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please subscribe and hit the like button if you have not. Shout out to everybody that hung in there with me Sunday night. Yeah, it was a great stream. I appreciate you all so much. Tonight's stream is the title is Wasting What We Don't Even Control, which is time. And the scripture reference will be James 4 and 14. So, yeah. I pray that everyone has had a blessed day. I'm going to start with prayer. And I just hope that this, really blesses someone. Dear Lord, I thank you for tonight. I thank you for blessing us with a new day and a new opportunity to thank you. And God, I just ask that you would settle our minds tonight and make our hearts sensitive to everything that you want us to learn. And Lord, I ask that you help us to see our lives correctly and help us to view time also correctly and to not take it for granted, God. I pray that this word confronts us. I pray that it matures us and also awakens us. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. So tonight, oh yeah, I did say James 1:14 is the scripture reference. So it reads, whereas ye know not what shall be on the morrow. For what is your life? It is even a vapor that appeareth for a little time and then vanisheth away. So, what does that mean? I would say that it is a direct interruption to human pride and false confidence because we do live like life as if we know that we'll see it tomorrow. And a lot of us read this verse and only hear the point that life is short, but it goes so much deeper than that. James is not, that is James, right? Bolo? Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
it
So
is. Yeah,
James is one
it's
thing.
James.
So okay, so James is not saying life is short. He is saying life is uncertain and that is very fragile and unpredictable, and it is also temporary. So he's confronting the arrogance, even though we may not view it that way, but he's confronting the arrogance in people who make plans, chase money, attach themselves to people, delay hard decisions, and build whole futures while acting like tomorrow belongs to them. And that hits today harder than ever when we really view um, just the way people operate in today's society because we build these long-term goals and um, whether it's within our image that we're building, our wealth that we're building, um, And society teaches us to move in a way like everything depends on us and like everything is in our hands and everything will unfold on our timeline. But James interrupts that whole mindset and says, you do not even know what tomorrow will bring. So this is not a message against planning. I don't want people to think that like that's wisdom. We should plan, right? Um, but the message is against planning without reverence to God. And it's a message against wasting time, against assuming people will always be there. What's another thing that we do? It's against putting off the things that we really need to heal. It's against putting off obedience, putting off clarity, honesty, repentance, which is one of the main ones, and necessary change. Because at some point, if we are honest, many of us are not just planning, we are presuming, we are also assuming, and we are moving like we control access to tomorrow. And God is saying, you tried it. No, you didn't. Did you want to add anything?
Just a little bit to what you was saying, pertaining to the presumption of time. What's going on, Kojak? The presumption. There's a reason
Mhm,
why the Lord tells us to, forego and not focus too much on tomorrow because we don't
mhm,
know if tomorrow's going to come. And the reason for that is there's so much to learn in the present, which prepares you for the future.
mhm,
And so often people drift into the future not prepared because they didn't learn what they needed to learn in the moment from the past at that point. So now you're in the future the same way you were yesterday when you should have been better the next day than you were yesterday. Right.
mm,
So, you
mhm,
know, um, time is the one thing that we have the least of, yet it's the thing most people spend like it's endless. So this verse doesn't whisper it, it confronts that thought process. Life is not long, nor is it guaranteed. It's a vapor, here one moment, gone the next. So it's not a morbid thought process. David he asks the Lord to remind me how short my life is, not
right,
to focus on, damn, I'm not gonna live that long. No.
mhm,
What he's asking the Lord is help me to live in the moment. Help me to appreciate the here and the now. This is what we talk about when the Lord says, give us this day our daily bread. You know, help us to understand. Now, again, we prepare for the future, right? We have thought processes towards the future, but the future becomes more lit and more of a destination when we learn from our past and we apply in the present. So
mhm,
if we don't do those things, if we have a problem doing those things, then the man or woman we was yesterday is the man or woman we are in the future, which means we're the same and it's going to bound to repeat itself. So the Lord wants us to be better.
yes, I agree. Thank you. That was
Thank you.
good. No problem. So, Randy Ammon, thank you so much for tuning in. He said tomorrow is not promised to us. That is so true. And we say that a lot, but really think about that. That is so humbling. It's not. So every moment counts, and we all are guilty of sometimes taking it for granted, and that's what this verse confronts. And even when you consider where he talks about a vapor, right? So a vapor is visible, but it's very brief. It's something that doesn't last. It appears, but it does not stay. And James wants people to feel how unstable human life really is compared to the confidence with which we speak. Yeah.
That's a very good point. You know,
Mm-hmm.
um, James pulls the curtain back. You know, again, it's a context, man. You know, we talk about that all the time, pertaining to one person looking at something one way and another person looking at it another way. What he is telling
Mm-hmm.
you is seize the moment,
Right.
seize that moment. Tomorrow will bring another issue. Tomorrow is tomorrow. You don't know. You may hit the lottery tomorrow, and the thought process that you had the day before changes.
Completely different.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
your life is like a morning fog, and he's giving you these pictorial thought processes so you can understand how momentary, how short our lives are, right? It
Mhm.
looks thick, feels real, but give a little time, it disappears. Stop living like you got later. Stop living like that. Later is not promise. Call that person, fix that relationship, start that purpose. There's no better time than now. And that's what the Lord wants us to focus on. That's what he's talking about, you
Mhm.
know. So, yeah, that's a very good point.
Yeah. Mhm. How you had a very long day, and it's like I'm here, but I have to
You
gather my
trying to,
thoughts.
you're trying to get your mind right
It's
because
like
it's going a million
I'm
miles a second.
thinking so many things,
Right,
but
right.
it's like, yeah.
You want to breathe just for a second, just to calm your nerves down and just to,
Uh,
just to slow it down just a little bit.
Maybe, yeah. I
Okay.
may let you go. Like I'll say the first point, and then you can, speak. Shout out to my lovely mother, my favorite person in the entire world. She said tomorrow is not promised to anyone. Yeah, y'all basically said the same thing. It's so true.
Yes, that's a good point.
Randy said, so write that book. Oh, I think he was the one that told me to write a book. Hi, Anthony. Good to see you. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you.
Big Ant in the building.
Magnetar, good to see you. Good evening. Kojak is speaking to Bolo.
What's going on, my G?
Yeah. So I think I'm okay. So the first point, we do not just make plans anymore. We worship control. Do you agree?
We do not make plans anymore. We
We worship
worship control. We do
control.
not make plans. So I know sometimes you be throwing those tricky statements out. So I
Okay,
got
so basically, there's nothing wrong with having structure, right?
right.
Nothing is wrong with financial goals, vision boards, wanting stability. The problem is when planning stops being stewardship and starts becoming an idol. So when our peace only exists if everything goes according to our timeline, um, or when we cannot handle interruption, or when we panic at delays, when uncertainty makes us spiral because our confidence was never in God, it was in our plan working. So that's what I mean by worshiping
I
time.
got you.
Like
Here's the
it's
crazy thing. You said so much and you said
mhm,
so much in such a little time. And I'd like to unpack what you said because what you said was so important. You
right.
know, um, we always talk about the relationship with Christ and how important it is. And you said something about peace, and
Hmm.
that peace is through the relationship that you receive. So,
Right.
and it goes into what you just said, opposed to, my day can go bad, but I still got that peace. I still have that peace.
Mhm.
I still have that foundation of knowing that no matter where I'm at, no matter how good or bad, no matter how tumultuous that day has been, like you've had a tumultuous day, I still have that peace in Christ, knowing that He's there and He ain't going nowhere.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the point that we get caught up into what your mom said about be anxious for nothing.
Hmm.
You don't have to be anxious when you have that peace,
Right.
you know. And I'm listening to you because my eyes are closed, and I do that all the time. And I'm listening to you, and I'm hearing what you're saying. And you know, so often we say so much deep things, and so
Hmm.
often we just rush by it.
Hmm.
And what you said was so important in the aspect of how do you get that point of not being anxious? It's by having a relationship and understanding where you are in Him, right?
Hmm.
And so when things do get out of control, like you said, you don't let it move you to the point where you're confused. You adjust. It takes a
Hmm.
little bit to get to that point, but you adjust. So that I just wanted to highlight that point. But
Hmm.
that was good.
Right. And sometimes adjusting is just being still. Um,
Ooh.
Sometimes it's a
be
lot of being still,
be
I
still.
say being still because a lot of times we move
Too much.
when we shouldn't. And then sometimes we stay when we shouldn't. So it's important to just be still before
Mhm.
you do anything. Make sure that you're making a sound decision based on what the Lord told you to do and not how you feel in the moment. So, yeah.
And that comes from that relationship. That comes
Mm-hmm.
from prayer. That comes from, because again, no matter what, we talk about the Davids, we talk about the Esthers, the Ruths, the Solomons, and all the prophets. The one thing that these men and women had before they went into their tribulation or before they went into their chastisement was a relationship with Christ.
That's true.
They all
Mhm.
had that. So again, sometimes it looks crazy going on around you. Like we look at Job, that was going crazy. But the first thing Job did was what? He ripped off his clothes, right? What did that stand for? His pain. He
Mhm.
shaved his head. What did that stand for? Humility. And what was the third thing? He fell down to his knees. And so often we don't fall to our knees, and that's figuratively and spiritually speaking, right? When we get into situations, we don't run to the Lord first. We try
Mhm.
to figure it out, and then when things don't go right, that's when we bring it to the Lord when it's all broken and worse than how it was before we got it.
Mhm.
So when you're saying what Mo means when she's saying be still in the Lord, meaning that we bring everything to him. Christ doesn't want to be first. He wants to be the center. And there's a difference between being first and being the center. You have to understand that. So when we realize that Christ isn't in case of break glass, it shifts your thought process that everything you go through, anything from the greatest to the least, from happy to sad, we
Mhm.
run it through him. And
Right.
that's what's important. And being still, being still is knowing that, you know, I say this all the time, and this is not scripture, but
Mhm.
the most important part of prayer to me is being patient and waiting for the answer.
Mhm.
A lot of the times
I
people,
think we had that conversation.
yeah,
Um,
a lot of times people make a prayer and they put God on the stopwatch and
that's
say,
true.
if he don't come in 10 seconds, I already know that I got to go punch that dude in his mouth.
That's why I said, I think we kind of went back and forth on that because to me the most important piece is faith.
Right,
Because
but here's the thing: how they work together. They work.
if you pray right and you don't have faith, that doesn't make it, the prayer is pointless. And when you have faith,
Absolutely.
that opens the door for patience.
And here's how this works together, so we're on the same page. Did you
Mhm.
really have faith if you put Christ on the time clock?
That's true.
You didn't
No.
have faith at all. What you were doing was you were trying to do what you wanted to do. And what
Mhm.
you did was like, how someone to sit there and say, well, listen, I did wait 5 minutes and they didn't come. So I'm not telling you I didn't wait. I did wait. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, faith is very important. So again, this isn't about trying to check out boxes. This is about being sincere in what we do. And that's
Mhm.
what's important. So yeah, I think we're both on the same page on that.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree. Anthony said, actually, the best tomorrow is promised to everyone that has eternal life. That's
Yeah, that's deep.
period. That's the point. Yeah, I agree. Randy said, if it's the Lord's will, then it will be. Yep.
That's where that faith comes in that you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Ivy. Please feel free to support the show. Hey, Vaughn, good to see you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hey, King Pigs, good to see you. I pray that all is well. Hey, Lady Navoa, good to see you, hon. Love you. Um, Let me see. My mom said it's okay to plan, but we must acknowledge God first in our plans by saying if it's the Lord's will or if the Lord says. That's true.
100%. That's that
Yes,
humility.
absolutely. I agree. Let's see. Hey, 84, good to see you. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate y'all. Please remember to hit the like and feel free to share the show. So my next point. That's how you know I'm sleepy. I did
I
this
told
all
you
day
slow it
at
down. Just
work. At work today, they were like, "What?" Because I deal with different schools all across the country. They were like, "What?" I was like, "I'm so sorry." Like at one point, I was like, "Can you just give me a brief moment?" And I had to go on hold. I had to log out for a second, but yeah, it was a lot going on.
yeah, sometimes you gotta slow things down, man.
Multitasking, a lot of emails, a lot of meetings all day. It's a lot. Then I had to sing at a conference. Yeah, it was a busy day, but thank the Lord for seeing me through.
Nice.
So my second point, a lot of people are wasting years because they keep delay because they keep calling delay discernment. Again, a lot of people are wasting years because they keep calling delay discernment. Okay, so I would say this is where the verse could become painfully practical because one of the most dangerous things in life is not always obvious rebellion, right? Because some things we know are just out of order, but sometimes it is delay. So we'll normalize moving slow on things and will justify it emotionally. So, for example, people will waste years in dead relationships. It could be just dead routines. It could be even staying in a church, a dead church, or dead habits, dead versions of themselves, and they keep calling it patience. They'll say, I'm praying about it, or I'm waiting for the right time. Meanwhile, years are disappearing, and James tells us that our life is a vapor, and that means wasting time is not something that we should take lightly. It means dragging your feet in places where clarity has already come. You get what I'm saying? Have you ever
I
like
absolutely do. I
I'm
absolutely
guilty?
get what you're saying.
I'll
Right.
say, well, I'm praying about it, knowing God already done showed me. You get what I'm saying? That's just me being honest.
Right, right.
There have
Yep,
been times where God has made things plain and I'll just stay in something because it's what I want, you know?
that's a good point.
Um, yeah. So it could be like there are people who know they are outgrowing certain spaces but will not move because they are emotionally attached to familiarity. Did I say it right? Familiarity. I can't stand saying that word.
You said it right, though. You said it right.
Okay. Hey, Blue Jay, good to see you. I'm gonna sing Lady Navoa, but you know I sing on my shorts. Like if you want to hear me sing, your girl sings on her shorts. I think that's before the last one I updated a week ago. The one before that is me singing I Surrender All. Hey Brandon, good to see you. Yeah, so we'll justify certain things to say where we are and we'll say we're just processing it. Um and that speaks to arrogance in a sense too, because if we say we'll deal with something later or we'll move later, it assumes that we have the opportunity to do so, you know?
Absolutely. Sometimes people can become complacent. Some people can become comfortable with being comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And at times we can, what is that? How does it say? Sometimes we can mistake movement for progress. The
Mm-hmm.
one thing we don't control time. So management, when you manage what God allows you to hold you for a moment,
Mm-hmm.
now moments may be different for people, right? A moment for you may be an hour, a moment for me may be 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm being facetious when I say that. So moments can be
Right,
long.
right.
Moments are different, depending on where that person is in their life and what they're going through. But We have to treat our time like something sacred. That's our problem. And you kind of touched on that a little bit earlier. Our problem is we don't. When you treat
Right.
something sacred, you understand it and you reverence it. You don't take it for granted. All these different things. It's not casual to you. So if
Hmm.
God gave it, wasting it is not just poor discipline, it's poor stewardship.
Absolutely. And that's why, so the point was a lot of people are wasting years because they keep calling delay discernment. So, yeah, so just be mindful of the difference because there's a difference between a person moving carefully because we should versus hiding behind delay. And there's a difference between discernment and avoidance. Um, because sometimes we're not discerning, we're actually stalling. Sometimes we're not waiting on God. We're waiting to feel less uncomfortable about being obedient,
Good
you
point.
know. Yeah, so my third point, this generation is building money goals while starving emotionally, spiritually, and relationally. Do you agree?
Say it again.
This generation is building money goals. I am too, by the way. But this generation is building money goals while starving emotionally, spiritually, and relationally. So
Yes,
we
yes,
see so many people only pouring into the money aspect of things, and
yes,
their spirit is starving.
absolutely
Mental
100%.
clarity is lacking. So this point does matter because we need balance as a people. And James is not against building. Again, I don't want that to be the message. What, we're not supposed to plan, we're not supposed to have anything. That would be ignorance, right? We are. But James is not against building. We are not, also, me and Bolo are not talking against having a successful life. And we're not preaching against money, right? Because the Bible even says money solveth all things. We are confronting how culture has trained people to spend enormous energy on visible progress while neglecting invisible decay, which is our spirits.
Well, you ain't talking about money. I still want my Movado watch.
I mean, hey, I don't blame you.
Congregation.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I want the congregation to get me a Movado watch.
I
That's what I
can't
want.
believe that preacher said that. That was crazy.
And yeah, no, you're absolutely right. You know,
Mhm.
busyness is not the same as purpose. People fill their days, but empty their calling. Motion doesn't mean meaning. And we have to
Mhm.
understand the difference. So ask yourself daily, family, is what I'm doing moving me toward who God called me to be or just keeping me occupied? There's a
Right.
big difference between the two to what Mo was saying. So again, it's the Lord that puts you in the position to be able to strike fire when it's hot. Okay. So if you learn the lessons when the lessons is given to you, then when you're ready to strike, you'll be ready. If you're
Mhm.
always ready, you don't need to get ready. So um we talk about, and I hate doing this, but I'm gonna do it.
Mhm.
Even when we have the conversation of submission, you know,
Hold on before you go. So, Lady Navoa, okay, the ads, right? That's just a part of you too, because I promise you, I do not have it set up to where they're constantly going. Um, I don't know. I'm I don't know, but I have
what
to
does she
turn them
say?
on to get my videos monetized. She said, "Okay, the ads. We need to start a collection plate for that." I'm just saying, must go. I'd be missing something.
Oh, so when we're talking about the submission thing, right? And I'll speak from the man's perspective. Uh, when you're not in the moment and you mistake motion for meaning, when you are in that moment of your wife passing by? You don't know. You have no clue. Why? Because the scripture
What do you
says,
mean?
in other words, how does a man that findeth a wife is a good thing, how does he know it's a good thing?
The Lord is going to reveal that to you if she aligns with what he says of
Which
what
means I have to what?
Proverbs.
Which means I
Be
have to.
aligned with the Lord.
There you go. It starts with me being in alignment first, right? It starts with me being in alignment, because how can I be in alignment? How can I find my wife and the Lord is showing me this is the woman for you, but I'm not in alignment with him?
Mm-hmm.
So that submission starts first with me in obedience to him. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So going into the things that you were saying earlier, you know, the lessons that you need to learn is what prepares you for that unforeseen future.
Mm-hmm.
Because the future is a vapor itself also, because you can think of what you think the future is going to be, but it may not be there. It may not be that. How many people have thought, I thought my life was going to be this way, and it happened to be a different way,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's bad or good or indifferent, whatever it is. So you may have a thought process of what you may think something is, but the Lord is going to prepare you for what you need to go through or need to be in that position when you get there. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
So that's why we talk about motion doesn't mean meaning. That goes into what you were saying pertaining to, don't make your life a breakdown of going out there and getting money, but not going out there and getting your spirit. Right?
Mm-hmm.
What does the Lord tell you? What is it a man that he should gain the world but lose his soul?
Mm-hmm. That's in
So
my intro
yeah.
song. Yep, I agree.
Randy says
Uh,
equally yoked. King Pick said, really your
I
fave.
think he's talking to Blue Jay. Really,
Oh,
your favorite
okay.
hubby?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Um. Yeah. So that point was to just, I guess, show how society is obsessed with visible success. It can trick you into thinking that if you are progressing materially, you must be doing well, and that is only one portion of it.
Mm,
Because some people are stacking money while really leaking in other areas.
mm,
Mm-hmm.
100.
Yeah,
Most people don't lose purpose through rebellion. They lose it through postponement.
right. And again, what James is saying is not do not build. He is saying build with the awareness that your life is brief and build with God at the center of it. Point four, we keep assuming people will always be here, and that assumption is costing us real connection. So, um, we have gotten so used to postponing being present, and we assume we have more time to call a person, more time to apologize, more time to visit them, um, and more time to repair things and express love. And because we assume time, sometimes we can mishandle people, and we're all guilty of that.
Yeah,
You
I'm
can
guilty of
start to take genuine people for granted,
that. Hmm.
and uh like sometimes you can postpone a conversation that really matters thinking you'll have time to resolve it. Nobody knows,
That's a good point.
when their number will be called. So
Yeah.
yeah,
If
it's
God placed something on your heart, act on it. Waiting
mhm.
too long can turn obedience into regret.
Yes. um Yeah, that's true because the generation that we live in is hyper connected digitally, right? And yet deeply neglecting like real life, real people. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah, so we have constant access to People's presence online, right? And very little reverence for the actual people themselves in reality.
That's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point. We we
Yep.
we pay more attention, and you see it today. You see people on YouTube all day, every day, but they don't have a life outside of that. Their life is
Mm-hmm.
the internet. And again, not saying that you can't form real lasting relationships from the internet, but
Oh
there's
yeah,
nothing
you can.
there's nothing like, you know, um, live, talking to somebody. It's nothing like, being out and being in the presence of that person. It's nothing like that. The Lord made us uh, 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 beings that we need to interact with people. He just
Mhm.
made it's the way He made us. So yeah, that's a very good point.
Yeah. My mom said, "Seek ye first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you." That's so true because sometimes we try to just do things in our own will and we don't ask if it's the will of God,
Hmm.
and His will make room for things being added through us seeking Him first. So yeah, that's absolutely true. King Pig said, "I agree. A lot of people don't take note of the nuances in life and get caught up in metrics. My love for the woman in my life can't be quantified through numbers." I don't get it. Did I miss it?
Yeah, you missed it.
I guess I missed it.
Yeah.
Urban said, "Hi,
Would you
Mom."
like me? Would you like me to clue you in?
Yeah, you can. Hey, Vaughn, good to see you. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Go back to it. Go back to it.
Okay, he said, "I agree. Lots of people don't take note of the nuances in life and get caught up in metrics.
Right.
My love for the woman in my life can't be quantified through numbers."
At
Did he meet at Mo Love? Right,
correct.
because of what I'm talking about.
No, he's he's saying that towards you. Listen, maybe I'm
Oh,
interpreting
okay.
it wrong, but
Yeah, I think Blue Jay is his wife too. Shout out to King Big. It's funny. Yeah, but that's true. We have to learn to cherish people, and that doesn't mean you idolize them. It just means honoring the fact that time with them is not guaranteed. And when we're mindful of that, I believe that we can become more present and aware.
well, that's important. A lot of the times, you know, we can use the same word and it means something different. What do I mean?
Hmm.
I can honor my brother and honor my sister and honor Christ. The honor that I give Christ is different than the honor that I give my brother and that I
Right.
give my sister.
Hmm.
The honor that I give my brother and my sister is um, respect, appreciation, and so forth and so on. The honor that I give Christ is reverence, obedience, submission. So
Hmm.
it's different, um, and that's important. It's important. So to know, because again, what you said is very paramount. You don't know when a
Hmm.
person will have their card punched. So the context of James 4 warns against saying, we will go, we
Hmm.
will do this or that. That mindset assumes control,
It does. And
and
you
we
know what this? Oh, go ahead.
and we don't have control. So,
Hmm.
live with humility. What do
Yes.
we say every morning with the morning reads? Lord willing, we'll see you tomorrow. Lord willing, we'll
Hmm.
see you tonight. Lord willing, we'll see you. Because again, I don't know. Nobody knows. And you're giving that reverence even in conversation. You're giving that humility even in conversation. You're aware of every moment that you are in. You never want to be on autopilot. That's dangerous. You never want to be on autopilot. And at times we do go into autopilot, maybe when we're angry, when we're sad, when we're distant. We do at times go into autopilot, but you want to be cognizant of where you are, and what you say, how you say it, the inflection, intonation, all of these things, because it means a lot.
Mm-hmm.
The way I say I love you to somebody, yeah, I love you. And then you say it with fire and vigor. I love you. I said the
Mm-hmm.
same thing, but it hits different.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
And
your
the way
wife.
we
Your,
become so irritated
say it
with
again.
people, the way we also are
Yeah,
not patient with one another,
absolutely, absolutely. Listen, man, I'm gonna
that's
work. I
something
tell
we
people
all
all
need
the time.
to work
Um,
on. I know I do.
I got the tarp and the spackle and the paint, and I'm putting the tarp over my spirit, and I'm saying sorry for the inconvenience. Underwork. So
Mhm.
I'm under work. So
Mhm.
know that I'm under work.
Yeah,
So
we all are. Um, so yeah, we have to be mindful of people because there are people, when you really think about it, there are people who would give anything for one more conversation or
ooh,
one more prayer with someone they assume would always be there. Just, think about that. It just reminds me of, I think I was maybe 20, and my mom and my aunt were both very tired. And I remember my aunt calling my mom about something,
hmm
and my mom was tired. Like, that lady does not stop. And then the next day we get a call like, my aunt is gone. She was perfectly healthy. And my
wow.
mom and my aunt were best friends, and you just never know how from one day to the next that life can change.
And
You never know.
and again, what's so crazy about what you just said? Um, words.
Hmm.
Words are so important. Again, for Bolo,
They are.
I I I am better at understanding when my eyes are closed.
Hmm.
So I'm listening to what you just said, and you said that you know your mom and your aunt. I want you to listen to what you said. Your
Hmm.
mom and your aunt. That was your mother's sister.
Hmm. And
It
best
hits,
friend.
it hits different when you say it that way.
Hmm.
Hits different because it's a different dynamic. It's a different relationship, right? When my
Hmm.
mom passed, I lost my mother. My father lost his world.
Oh my
It's
God.
it's a different hit.
Hmm.
It's a different dynamic. It's a different relationship. You dig? Because your aunt, the relationship she had with you is different than the relationship she had with her sister.
Right.
So again, even in the things that we say, when we slow it down, it hits different. So a lot of the times you have siblings that are not best friends. This is a best friend. Conversations, you know what I'm saying? Just presence.
And then, like, just I knew when she was gonna call. She called every day, every other day, and
Mm.
then just that absence. It took a while for
Let me tell
us
you
to
something.
connect.
Let me tell you something. When I lost my mom and dad, right?
Mhm.
I'm a very nostalgic person.
Mhm.
Very. I promise you, I'm probably the worst on the planet. Okay. It takes a long time for me to put something away, as far as like something that maybe someone gave me that was near and dear.
Mhm.
So um this had to be a few months after my dad passed. A few months after my dad passed. Now my mom passed before my dad.
Mhm.
So and I got their picture as my phone saver. Like when it goes into that delay, like if you
You
leave the
do
screen
now?
on, huh? At times, yeah,
That
it
that is
cycles.
so sweet.
Like sometimes it goes. How it like if you leave the screen open and then it goes into that screensaver portion of it.
Right.
So I have that right there. One of their pictures is up there. And let me tell you something. One day, I'm just chilling. I'm in the office, and I get a phone call on my cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
and my mom and dad's picture comes up on the screen.
Whoa.
Now I know that uh, none of my brothers had their phone,
Mm-hmm.
and it was my mom's number because I had their picture up for
Your
both.
mom's number calling you.
My mom's number calling me,
Oh my gosh.
calling me. Okay, I yo, this wasn't a good moment for Bolo. Pick
Mm-hmm.
up the phone and say, "Yo, who the f is this, man?"
You went off. Mm-hmm.
What? It was a wrong number. See, a lot of the times people don't
How
understand numbers.
Oh,
Numbers,
okay. I get it. I get
numbers
it.
don't get lost.
Mm-hmm.
Numbers are recycled. So if you don't pay your phone
They
bill,
are.
they
Mhm.
give you a certain amount of time. If not, they give it to somebody. But what
Exactly.
is the likelihood? What is the likelihood of that number calling me? Wrong number. What is
Right.
the likelihood of that? So you see how the enemy
I
works.
don't like that. Yeah.
Listen, listen. It could be the Most High telling me, Duke. Listen, man. This is a kink in your chainmail. This is a
Mm-hmm.
weakness that you need to get past. I understand I understand it. I understand it's painful, but this
Mm-hmm.
is a weakness that you need to move through.
Yes.
Now, it doesn't mean that you're forgetting that person. You're not allowing that moment to move you emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I took it. But in the moment, remember, the Lord tells you, be angry and sin not. I did sin. So I did
I
sin.
mean,
I was
yeah.
angry and I did sin.
Mm-hmm.
However, it puts you when that smoke clears, when
Mm-hmm.
that smoke clears, and you're able to say, look at how this moment moved me. It didn't move me in a positive thought process. Now
Right.
imagine if something like that would have happened in an important moment.
Right. Oh my
This
gosh.
this emotional outburst or outbreak can cause me to lose my life, can cause, people around me, my loved ones to lose their life. So I have to gain control of it. Now, since I have, but in that moment, the Lord was showing me. So again, perspective is important. Okay. How
Right.
you look at something, two people are going to look at it differently.
Mm-hmm.
Same situation, one person may look at it differently. I'm telling you how it moved me and how I looked at it. Because I'm sitting there looking at this dude is crafty. What is the
Right.
likelihood? What
Right.
is the likelihood? Knowing that I didn't take that picture, knowing that I didn't block that number, because typically if someone passes, you might delete the number.
Right.
It's I didn't at all, and it calls me,
I
and I'm
don't
screaming,
understand.
"Mother, hold up!" And I'm
Right.
like, "Oh my G, wrong number, baby. My bad. It was a white dude." He ain't say,
I would have,
"My bad."
I don't know, I would have got chills. I
I
would have
did.
probably just,
I'm
I
looking at
would
the
have
phone, Mo.
thrown
I'm
my
looking at the
phone
phone
down
ringing.
and
I'm
never
looking
picked up
at.
that phone again. I would
Nah,
have
I
broke
had to pick it up. I
probably.
had to pick it up. What if it was her? Listen, again, this this is how you know the enemy,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because again, I'm not speaking to her again. You dig what I'm saying? Going back to what you were saying, right? And that's what sparked the thought process that you can have that one last conversation, right? If you knew I'd spend the whole day. I wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
go no place. I would be with that person, right? I'm sure your mom would be with her sister
Of
all
course.
day.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's that fact. It's knowing that fact that the Lord is saying, cherish every moment. It's knowing that. And that's how I try to move. I do
Yes.
fail, I do slip, but that's how I try to move. Because again, you don't know at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then it goes to being connected still to that moment, thinking that you've healed. And you're gonna get tested on it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I failed in that in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
But again, when after the smoke cleared, and I'm like, what is the likelihood of that number calling me?
That's so right.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
chills. I looked at the number, and here's the crazy thing. Typically, if someone don't pick up on the third or fourth ring, you're like, all right, man, it is what it is. And you hang up this phone. I looked at it for at least a good 7, 8 seconds, and
Mm-hmm.
it's ringing, and it's my mom and dad's picture, and I'm
Does
like,
your heart beat fast?
what?
Right.
What?
Mm.
Absolutely.
That was a dumb question. My bad.
No. That was a good question because you're trying to put yourself in the moment. That's
Mm-hmm.
not a bad question. Any question that can help you understand what that person's thought process was, their mind, it's not a bad question. It only helps you to have more empathy. You dig? So that wasn't a bad question. In fact, that was a good question. Cold chills, being upset, scared, all these different
Scared is what I, yeah.
all of
What I
these
had
different things are running through you at the same time, or through me at least, at the same time.
Why
So
did it
that's why I picked up the
feel?
phone with such
Oh.
angst. Yo, who the
Mm-hmm.
hell is this, man? Now, what if it was my mother? Now, I know it wasn't, but what if it was? Who the F is this? You know what I mean?
But there's no way it could have been.
I
You know.
understand, but that, let me tell you what ran through my mind. That inner child
Mm.
ran through my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Soon as I seen her number, me being a baby boy and being held in her arms,
Mm-hmm.
ran through all of these emotions run through you quickly.
Right.
You know it ain't her, but deep down inside, what are you wishing?
That it was.
There you go. All of
Mm-hmm.
these things are running, all of these thoughts are running through your mind quickly in the split of a second, in the moment of a second. All of these things are running through your mind until you just say, you know what? All right, let me pick it up. Yo, who the hell is this?
So I have a question.
I might
How
have an answer.
how long after their passing did this call take place?
It happened after my dad passed, so
Okay.
it had to have been, I would say, maybe 5 months after.
It was. Mm-hmm.
5 months
Okay.
after, more than enough for the number to be recycled.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And here's the crazy thing: I work in IT, so I know numbers are cycled. But this
Right.
is how. When I tell people that you got to practice this in the moment. This is how all rationale goes out of the damn window. Because a rational man would have said, man, that's just a number recycling.
Yeah.
Because I know my brother ain't going to call me from my dad's phone, right?
Mm-hmm.
They closed the account. But
Yeah.
in that moment, you're so caught up. All rationale goes out the window. That didn't go through my mind. It went through my mind after I picked up the call. After I was pissed off and the moment cleared, it did. Rationale came back. But what if it was a situation where lives were at hand? I would have failed.
Mm-hmm.
So it's things like that we, when I tell people, listen, man, practice now because it becomes second nature when we
Mm-hmm.
can't practice them. When the Lord tells you, seek me while there is still yet time, that means that when grace is lifted, and it will be, there is no more. Hey, Mo, can you pull out that scripture in James? There ain't no more of that.
Right.
Nah, G, what you know is what you know. You don't got the oil in the flasks? Oh, if I give you my oil, I'm going to be late. You remember the 10 bridesmaids? If
Mm-hmm.
I give you that oil, I'm going to be late. And I don't want to be late. So I'll see you on the other end.
Yep.
Yeah. So, just being
Mm-hmm. And
transparent.
that you mentioned that my friend, he always sends me like verses every morning. That's the one he sent me today, the 10 bridesmaids.
Yeah. When you when
Mm-hmm.
you when you think of these things, you think of it being arbitrary. It's not. See, the difference between them and us, right? And what do I mean by them and us? These men and women that were in the word, it was written to them, but it
Mm-hmm.
was written for us. Now, what's the difference? For us to learn,
To them, for us. Yeah, that's true.
for us to learn, for us to understand, for us to apply. It was
Mm-hmm.
written to them to go through. It's the same thing with us today. right? We're the ones that go through what we need to go through so that we could take that information and give it to our children. It's for them to learn from our mistakes,
Mm-hmm.
but it was given to us to go through them.
Right.
So what we go through is for the next generation. Does that make sense?
Yep, it does.
Yeah. So yeah, that was just a little transparency that, you know, uh, uh, uh you know, James, he's warning us, right? And it's a warning, you know, when, saying we will go, we will do this or that, that mindset assumes control and we don't have it. That's where it goes back into having that faith. Live with humility, plan, but hold those plans loosely. That's the whole point, right? That's what we were talking about earlier. You have to plan for the future. What do I say all the time? We learn from our past, we live in the present, but we plan for the future, right? What does that
Mm-hmm.
mean? That means that whatever we went through, we need to learn from it, apply it in the present so that it prepares us for where we need to be. So we have plans. Like you said earlier, you're going to plan for the future. Who doesn't have a plan? You have to have a plan for the future, but you hold on to it loosely. What does that mean? Because plans change.
Right.
If you hold on to it and you're rigorous with it,
Mm-hmm.
and you're not pliable, it could derail you. So,
That's true.
plan loosely, always saying, if the Lord wills,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
That's
I,
good.
yeah,
And um that's why I wanted to bring up this point in regards to people. So we don't want to be in a position where we idolize them above God, but we do want to keep in mind of the time the Lord has allowed, us to have them. And we have to be mindful that just, I guess, intentions and presence is key, as I said earlier. Like an occasional check in or I love you is not the same as really cherishing someone. When you cherish a person, it requires presence, attention, and also intention, whether that's a sister, brother, wife, husband, grandmother, grandfather. We just have to really be mindful of our time. And when James mentions that in 4 James 4 and 14, um, so yes, he's rebuking like the pride that we sometimes have in regards to planning. And at the same time, it also calls us back to tenderness and how we actually treat time and how we show up with people.
that's a
So
very
yeah,
good point.
sometimes
Yeah,
it's not about the money or a grand gesture with people. It's about presence before, time makes that decision for you.
yeah. A- You don't want time to make the decision for you. It
Yeah,
isn't cool. We chase big achievements and overlook the small sacred moments. We don't
yeah.
pay
Look what
attention.
go ahead.
We don't pay attention to the small moments. Be
Mhm.
present. The conversations, the laughter, the quiet prayer. These are not small things. They are life itself. These
Mhm.
things keep you, when you're in them small moment of time, when you're by yourself, these things keep you moving to the next step.
Right. That is so true. So Randy said I went to work one morning and woke up a few years later after having a brain bleed in a coma.
Wow, that's
Oh my
crazy.
gosh.
That's cool. God bless you. I'm glad you're here with us. That's crazy.
You are a miracle.
Walking.
He didn't say weeks, he said years. I woke up a few years later.
Word.
And the Lord ain't real. Stop playing with me.
Word. I went to sleep and they ain't have no cell phones. I
Gosh.
woke up. Cats got TVs in their pockets.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? You know what that brings up to?
God.
How the hell did what kind of signal did they have because I was thinking about it, right? And don't ask me why I thought about this, but remember the conversation we were having with the moon? You know there was no latency when it came to when they were when those men were on the moon and president was talking to them. There was no
Mm,
latency. You know, latency means time before something gets like, if I say hello and you're far away, hello may be a second later. Like
yeah, delay.
it was no delay at all. He said, "Hey, what's
That's
going on, my
hilarious.
G?" And he said, "What's going on, my G?" And they was like, "Yeah, we good, baby."
And when you look at that now, it's like that is crazy.
Listen, some cars didn't have air conditioning. Some cars
Hmm.
didn't have windows that power windows. But these dudes was talking on a phone that was.
They done went to the moon and everything.
I'm just saying. I'm
That
sorry.
is funny. Bougie
Um,
said, "That's me, Bolo. Laugh out loud. I'm working on changing it though." I forgot what the point
yeah,
was.
that was a while back. That was a while back.
Randy said, "But I'm here. The Lord's will."
Absolutely, 100, brother.
Yes,
100. You're a miracle,
that
my
is
G. You're a miracle.
that is so true. My mom, I think she might be asleep now. Our life is not our own.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
She said she might be asleep.
yeah.
And we know because you stay up.
Don't let my mom fool y'all. This lady
Oh,
stay
here
up
we
too.
go.
This
Here
lady
we go.
is retired. She's up till 3 watching her shows, watching old westerns, Bonanza, Rifleman. What else does she watch?
Bonanza's popping.
Walker,
Bonanza is
Texas
fly.
Ranger.
Walker,
I'm like,
Texas
Mama,
Ranger.
we watched that in 1991. You
That's
still watching
crazy. Walker, Texas Ranger was kicking people without guns. He's a cop.
it? Oh, and
Money
RIP
didn't even
to him.
deal with guns, my G. Money would
Chuck
walk up.
Norris.
Chuck Norris would walk up to a cat and give him a kick and then arrest you. These were,
Hey, KMA, good to see you. I haven't seen you in a long time. Yes,
this
do
dude
it,
was a
Vaughn
police
said.
officer, son. A
Did
police
you
officer. And you were a
right?
big drug dealer deleting everybody. Money would walk up to you with them tight jeans on, kick you 4 times, and then place cuffs on you. They don't make
Ooh,
shows like that no more.
they don't.
Come on, son.
Vaughn said, "Did you accidentally forget to hit the like button? It's okay. You can do it now. Please
Hit
hit
it,
the like
son.
button."
They don't make
Good to
shows
see
like
you,
that no more.
KMA. I'm still laughing at King Pics with 50 wives in the chat.
Come on, son. Knight Rider stayed with that pleather coat on in the summer. Duke was in Miami all the time. Stayed with that pleather coat on. Come on, kid. They don't
Not
make no shows.
pleather. I used to have a pleather coat back in the day. It
Yeah,
was
we
cute.
all had pleather coats, but that joint was tight, son. And he
Oh,
never had a gun. Knight Rider, Michael Knight.
I don't know that person.
How do you not? Huh?
Knight Rider, what year is this, sir?
Yo, B, man, son, I don't understand.
What year?
Knight
Enlighten
Rider,
me.
I think Knight Rider was in the 80s, man.
That's the
80s and
problem.
90s.
I
What do you
probably
mean?
was two.
Hold on,
If
let
I
me.
was born in the late 80s, I
Hold
mean,
on.
and that came out in the 80s,
You know about it was the T-top black card with the little strobing red light in the front.
I have no clue.
When
Oh, I
did
used to watch Sanford and Son with my dad.
so how you watch that and that was in the 70s?
Well, my dad would watch it.
He
Like
never
he has
watched Knight Rider?
old DVDs of it, and he'll
Oh
watch
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. You weren't born yet when it came out.
Yeah, I don't
Knight
think so.
Rider came
Hey,
out
Sam.
1982, my son. Knight
Oh,
Rider
look at
came out 19, but it had a long season.
1982. So I had 4 years still before my parents thought about having me.
I'm saying Knight Rider is a classic. The dude walked around. You ever seen Kung Fu?
Kung Fu.
Oh my God. This dude walked
Maybe
around
bits
the,
and pieces.
huh?
Maybe bits
David
and pieces of it.
David Carradine, he walked around the earth barefoot with a bag.
Mm,
And he
yeah.
kicked, his karate was so slow, it made you slow.
That is hilarious.
Duke's karate was so slow. And he's moving in real time. It's not slow motion. He's moving. He's so
Mhm.
slow that he distorted time to the point where you messed up. Figure
I
that out.
caught the Okay, so I used to watch I Love Lucy. I used to watch the Three
Oh
Stooges.
yeah, 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 yeah. They were violent.
They were. That
My
was so
man
funny.
Mo would slap their good God, son. Mo would slap the hell out of them for no reason.
It was so funny. What's
Absolutely.
another old show?
You had Three Stooges. You had
I used to like the Rifleman.
Rifleman was fire.
Rifleman. Yeah, that was my
Bonanza was
favorite
fire.
Western. Bonanza wasn't good to me.
Oh come on. I-
Rifleman?
what
Hold
about
on.
Dynasty? You ever watch Dynasty?
Never.
The Colbys?
Never heard of it.
What the hell, yo, man? See, these TV shows that you have now is trash. Trash.
I was into okay, so when I was middle in high school, like Martin, Living
Oh,
Single.
those were good.
When I was
Those were good.
little, Family Matters. I used to watch a little bit of Full
Yeah,
House,
I never really did.
Moesha.
I
I
never
used to
really.
like the Steve Harvey show.
Oh man, he looked like he had a wig on.
I think he did.
I think it was a wig, right? I think it was a
There
wig.
was a wig.
Man, yeah. I wasn't really, I watched it, but
He said, like, you like the intro of I used to
come
love that.
on, son. What was the name of the show, fellas?
Fire.
What was the name of the show?
Andy Griffith.
Andy Griffiths. Oh, come on, man.
Everybody used to try to do that whistle.
Come on, man. That was it.
Yeah.
See, those times.
What was Beaver? What show was
Leave it to
that?
Beaver. He's talking about Leave It to
Okay.
Beaver.
I used to like Little House on the Prairie.
I love Little House on the Prairie.
I love that show.
I love
Um,
Little House on the Prairie, man. Especially here's the music. Do 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 do. That's when they were running down the grass and the little girl would
oh
fall.
yeah.
I used to
I
love.
used to
Oh
love
man!
that. Hey E, good to see you.
And check this out. When I watched it, it was coming on live. When we watched it,
Oh, okay. Oh, did you used to watch Rock?
yeah, I wasn't really too much
It
of a
was
fan.
okay. Yeah, it was all
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah. I wasn't
Uh,
too much of a fan of that show.
what else was good?
You had a few. You had Different Strokes. You had
Different
Family
strokes. Oh
Ties.
yeah, that was good.
What's the other one? Different Strokes.
Is
Um,
it what was moving on up to the sky?
that was the Jeffersons.
Okay, I
I'm
used to
moving
like that.
on up,
You
moving
know what
on.
show I love that remind me of when I was a little girl? Different World.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
No, you wasn't a big fan.
yeah. I mean, it was okay. I like the Cosby Show better, but
The Cosby's. It was good.
yeah, it was a spinoff. That was a spinoff. A
Not the
different world.
'60s, Irby. See, Irby's still in his 20s, so he don't understand what's
Is he?
happening. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Irby, when he comes up here, Irby be sounding like like he's in
He's
space.
mature. He's
No,
very
his
mature.
signal,
Oh
his
yeah, his
signal. He be sounding
signal.
like he in space,
Mhm.
son. He be sounding like
Speaking of, my mom, I never understood like why she used to watch Star Trek.
Star
Star
Trek
Trek.
is fire.
Really?
Absolutely, not that new stuff. The old stuff, the old
Yeah, I
original
mean the
Star
old
Trek.
one. Yeah,
Fire in the hole, man. Fire.
I'm
That
good.
dude, Captain Kirk, no matter what color, nobody, for some reason, all space women found him attractive. The chick can have 8 heads, and he never use a condom. Never
That
use
is
a
so
condom.
funny.
Duke in space, making love to species he's never seen before. Chicks that are
Really?
purple,
See, I
polka
never
dot.
watched it.
He
Not
never used a condom and never caught nothing. At least they didn't say he caught something.
wow. Are you talking about the main one with the little eyes?
What little eyes? Who you talking about?
I don't know.
What little
I don't
eyes? What are
know
you talking about?
their
Captain
name.
Kirk didn't have little eyes?
Well, somebody had little eyes and their ears used to stick up like an elf.
Oh, you talking about Spock. Spock didn't have
Spock.
little, he didn't have little eyes. He looked like a
Oh,
regular
okay.
person.
Got it.
Remember, Spock was half human, half Vulcan. And
Mm,
Vulcans look like
okay.
humans. They just had their hair straight and the pointy ears, and they didn't use emotions.
Hey, really good to see you.
Yeah, but those are the shows, man. What's the other shows that come on every New Year's? Close. And it's what was the name of it, man?
Now, what year was this? Was I born?
No, you wasn't born. It comes on every New Year's. And it welcome, and he says welcome to the thing, and it's always like a twist to it, man. It's not Close
Roger, Pee
Encounters.
Wee Herman,
Nah, it's a
Twilight
television.
Zone.
Yes, the
Oh,
Twilight Zone, son.
what year was that?
Twilight Zone. I'll look it up. Twilight Zone was crazy.
Okay.
Twilight Zone had to be 70s because it was in black and white.
I remember Matlock. Irby said my mother liked to watch Matlock in the heat of the night. It's hilarious.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That
My
old man.
mom's show was in the heat of the night and Matlock.
Yeah, Twilight
Yeah.
Zone was 1959.
Mm.
We obviously I didn't see it when it was 1959, but we used to watch it too. They still do it for New Year's. Like they'll play a whole bunch of Twilight Zones.
Yeah. I'm gonna drop the link if you guys want to come up.
Tales from the Dark Side, yes, and
Never heard of it.
you
What year
never
was
heard of
that? Was that
Tales
the
from the
80s?
Oh my God, not Tales from the Dark Side. I believe
I
was
think
late 80s.
I heard of Tales from the Crypt. That was that 90s, I think.
I'll find out for you.
What was the show where it was the little it was a cute little monster or little creature?
Yeah, Tales from that was I think that was Tales from the Crypt. How was he cute? He was in a
It
damn crypt.
wasn't. Are you talking about the little it looked like a little
It looked like a skeleton.
no. Oh yeah,
Oh,
Tales from the Crypt. Yeah.
yeah.
But there was a show where they were little what were they called? It's the show where they
Are you
were
talking
little
about the gremlins?
uh
Like if you
yeah.
put water on them, they
I like the
multiply?
gremlin. Uh-huh.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I
I
like the
used to
gremlins
like
too.
that.
That
Tales
came
from
out
the
in
Sterling. Rod Sterling.
yeah, that was Twilight Zone. Tales from the Dark Side came out
In
1983.
1959.
Yeah, Tales from the
Oh.
Dark Side came out 1983.
Oh,
1983.
okay.
A
Randy
year
said
before.
I still watch it.
Oh yeah, Twilight Zone's a
The
classic.
Crypt Keeper. What year was that?
The Crypt Keeper. Let me look at it. Crypt Keeper. That had to be late 80s, early 90s, I would assume.
Okay. I don't even feel well. I was gonna give my last point, but
Yeah,
we
let's do
already
it if you want
somewhere
to.
else. But my fifth point was the deepest issue in James 4:14 is not poor time management. I would say that it's pride. Um, I say that because when James says you do not know what tomorrow holds, he's confronting, I guess, a person's posture and a human attitude. And it is a very subtle arrogance. We don't always view it as that. But I would say that it is because sometimes we have the mindset of, I know how this is going to go. I have time. I can always fix this later. Or I will turn back to God when I'm ready. That's a big one, you know?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I would say that's pride. And sometimes pride, again, can be subtle, it's not always loud.
And that's a big pride. That
Hmm.
ain't a small pride because to add with what you're saying, life is short and we know this.
Hmm.
Eternity is long. So what you do now echoes beyond this temporary existence. So in closing, right, invest your time in things that outlive you, which is faith, love, truth, people. You know, time is the only currency you spend without knowing your balance. Every
Mm,
second is a withdrawal. You can't reverse. So live awake, love deeply, move with purpose, and walk with God like every moment actually matters because it does. I think
right.
you'll be okay if you think that way.
I do too. And life does have a way of humbling like every illusion of self-sufficiency, you
Mm,
know,
yeah, it does.
it
You're
really
absolutely right.
does.
You're right about that.
When you really consider like that's the one thing that we're not in control of, time.
Doesn't that scare you?
Oh,
But
it does.
it
A whole nother subject.
and that's where you have
Yes.
to hold. But see, that's where that
Mhm.
relationship with the Father comes in, because when you know that He's in control of it,
Mhm.
you know, as listen, no matter how many times you have your child, you can hold your child still worries a tiny bit. They're
So
with
I don't talk about this a lot. I'm sorry to interrupt you. So you said, doesn't that scare you? It's not the idea of time that kind of may scare me. The Lord is still dealing with me. There are a lot of
you.
things that I've overcome, but when it comes to how and when,
So
as far as me, I'm still dealing with that. Like,
let me tell you what I mean by scared.
yeah,
Scared in not knowing. In other words, meaning
that's
not
that's
knowing,
basically what
not
I said,
knowing.
right? Is
No,
it like
yeah,
not knowing
not,
how
no,
or
no, no,
when?
no. I'm not talking about death. I'm talking
Oh, that's what I'm talking
about
about. Okay,
not knowing what's coming next. Like
got it.
it's
Mhm.
like a little fear because you don't know
Good
if you're
night,
ready.
Randy.
You don't know if you're ready. You don't know if you've done enough preparation. You don't know, and you never know.
Mhm,
When is anyone ready, right? The Lord just throws you into it. You're never ready for
mhm.
anything. You just prepare as much as you can, and you'll figure out everything else because of the nuance. Even when you prepare in training, when you go to a new position, they'll give you the basics of it, but there's going to be nuance in that position that they can't train you for because they don't know what's going to happen when it happens, you know?
Yeah,
So, um, just knowing that, and this is why it's important, the relationship.
it
That's why
is.
it's important, because the enemy now can't use your lack of faith against you.
Mhm.
So faith is to believe without seeing. Faith is not to know what's coming around that corner, but you have a relationship strong enough with the Lord to say, He got me in whatever capacity. That's that faith. If you don't have that relationship with Him and build that thought process, you will fumble the ball.
Yeah, I agree. That's why this verse is just so meaningful. And it
Yeah,
again, it's not to scare anyone. It's just teaching us to
it's
hold our
it's
plans.
reality, man.
Yeah, and
It's
to hold
reality.
and to hold our plans with humility and to stop assuming that tomorrow is owed to us. And it's teaching us to stop wasting years.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Be
Yeah.
urgent. Move with urgency. Put some fire underneath your behind and move.
hmm
Absolutely.
Your life is a vapor. Just think about that part alone. And again, it's not meant to depress you, it's to awaken us.
Yeah.
As the points we talked about, like awaken us to cherishing people and to honor time, and to stop moving like control belongs to us because it doesn't.
It's awareness.
Mm-hmm.
It's situationally making you aware and cognitively making you think about what you need to think about in the moment, opposed to saying that I'll get back to it. You know, it's
Mm-hmm.
it's a humble thought process, because this tells you here, accept not having control. That's what
Right.
the scripture is telling you. Accept it. You can fight with it all you want, but your hands are too short to box with God.
That's
Accept that they are
good.
just accept that there are some things you can't control, and walk full fledged into it, because the Lord is telling you, you don't need to control it. I do.
Right. So if someone was asking, if they came to you and said, "How do you discern the difference between someone genuinely waiting on God versus someone delaying what God already made clear because it's uncomfortable?"
I'd have to have a conversation with that person.
Okay.
Just asking that question, it's gonna spring other questions in my mind. Now I'm gonna need a little context to why you're asking this question. I'm going to need to step into your shoes for a little bit to understand where you're coming from, or to understand just a little bit better. To freestyle that, I don't know what the situation is. I don't know what that person or persons have gone through. So to just answer that question willy nilly, I think you're doing a disservice to
Mm-hmm.
that man or woman that asked that question. But if I had context to it, I would
Got it.
say, if I had context, I would say, um, people process things differently. Like earlier, what you said, you may process something faster than I do. And that's just how you do it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
someone may process something differently, and again, we have to know the difference between being patient and someone being lazy.
Mm.
Because some people will say, I'm going to take 9 months to process this, or I'm going to take 5 years to process this thing. Come on, my man. Come on, dogs. Come
Do
on.
you believe that sometimes emotional attachment can be one of the biggest reasons why people ignore clear signs from God?
Emotional attachment. That could be. That could be. But then I would ask, it's a balance, because that emotional attachment can be what he's using for you to be there for that person,
Oh,
right?
that's mm-hmm.
Or it can be, it's a dual coin, right? It can be to be there for that person, or it can be the opposite, right? 'Cause like I said before, you know, um, if if I, people in the village and certain people here, we have relationships with, right? Friendships with, right? So if I'm walking down the street and I know that T's in trouble, your sister is in trouble,
Mm-hmm.
there's a different urgency that I take than a person that I'm just seeing on the street.
Right.
It's a different urgency.
Mm-hmm.
It just is. People can sit there and say, but come on, but my man, yeah, whatever. It's a different urgency because
Right.
of the relationship that you have with that person. It's a
Mm-hmm.
different urgency. Now, we can sit here and try to act and say, I treat everybody the same. That's a lie. That's a lie. And we
Mm-hmm.
have to understand that if you're in a bowling alley and you have your best friend's children along with yours, and there's a fire, who are you looking for first? Your children and your best friend's children. Come on.
Right.
Now, you're not going to deny no other child to usher them out, but what's on your mind is yours first. It just is what it is. So,
Yeah.
yeah, so it's not, I mean, you asked some deep questions, man. So yeah, I would have to ask certain questions and sit with that person or persons, and to give you a better answer. So I hope the answer that I gave will suffice.
Mm-hmm. It makes sense. You would need context, I guess.
But again,
Mhm.
to your first question, yes, sometimes some people can be lazy pertaining to what they need to do and how they need to move, or at times pertaining to emotion. It may be the Lord put that emotion on you to connect, because if you didn't have it, you would give up on somebody. Like if you didn't love someone,
Mhm.
you would give up on them, right?
Right.
Your patience would be short. Nah, you know what? It is what it is, man. I don't know that dude. I see him in the street. Listen, brother, you need to stop smoking cigarettes, man. It's not good for you, and you keep it pushing. But if you know him, you'll continuously bring it up, because your relationship, even though he may scream at you, can you stop talking to me about cigarettes? Brother, I'm just trying to help you, man. I understand, but can you stop? But because you love that person and you have that relationship with them, you know, it keeps you there. It keeps you, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm having a brain freeze right now.
Mhm.
Connected, I guess, for lack of a better word.
Mhm. Okay, that makes sense. Blue Jay said, "For me, yes, Mo." Okay, so uh,
Did you put the link out?
I did. So, what do you think about this? Is it possible that some of our longest seasons are actually cycles that we refuse to exit?
It can be. It can be. It can be. Here's the thing. It can be cycles of tests that you need to get through. See, God is not George Bush.
Right.
He's not going to pass you because you're 13 in the second grade. You could be 84 in the second grade. You ain't moving on until you pass. Okay.
Mm.
So you're going to continue in that cycle until we get it right, or we get it to a point where we understand the lesson that we needed to extract from that situation. Because if we don't learn it, it's going to hinder us in our next step. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Or it could be what you just asked. It could be that that person is just comfortable in that cycle. Remember, we could be comfortable in a cycle. That can be too. So we have
Yeah,
to
I
we have to
believe
look
that
at both
people
sides of it. You know what I mean?
start to take people for granted if you know that they'll always be there
That's a
and
good
they'll
point.
come back.
Yeah, that could be. That's definitely a point to look at. You know, if we go into it looking from that point, and this is the thing that I say when I have conversations, I don't have a direction. And what I mean by that is I don't come with pre-diagnosed diagnosis. You know what I mean? I'm
Are you
asking.
sure?
It depends on if I'm coming into, let's say, a new couple.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have, talk to me. What's the issue? What's the problem? Give me each person's perspective or whatever. Now, I'm formulating something at this point as you're speaking to me, you know. But if I have a friendship with somebody and I kind of know their character and they kind of know mine, then, we're kind of led to a different thing. But here's where it could be a problem. How do we know the difference between it being a cycle, and how do we know it being a difference between a person just not learning what they need to learn? There's a difference between someone that being comfortable and someone just not getting it. There's a difference. There's a slight difference. Does that make sense?
Um,
Because let's put it this way.
between hold on,
Let's
what did
say
you said there's a difference between something being a cycle and someone just not
yes,
understanding yet.
correct. Because
So
one
I
person
think that oh go you can go
because
first.
one person is comfortable in it.
Mm-hmm.
The other person just they don't have the coping skills nor the tools to figure out what they need to figure out until you came into their life and gave them something for them to understand just a little bit better. Like what the Lord tells you, one man planteth, another man waters, but it's God that gives the increase. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. So
I
I
can
I
hear
would
you
say
thinking. I can
that
hear you
yeah,
thinking.
I am because you said the difference between so you said there's a difference between a cycle and someone not getting it. Okay, so the thing with those a cycle and someone not getting it can look almost the same,
Absolutely.
but they're not. So someone who does not get it, um, what would be signs? So they may still be like immature in that way or slow, inconsistent or unclear. And that can be frustrating too, but I believe that there's still some evidence that they are actually trying to understand. So you will still see signs of progress, even if it's slow. So when it comes to a cycle, you get what I'm saying? Like somebody moving slow.
I can see where you're going
Yeah,
with.
so you'll see a lit even if it's a little bit, that effort will let you know, okay, so this person is they don't have it all yet, but I do see effort. So when it comes to a cycle, um so a cycle is that same pain or that same thing repeating itself without real transformation. There's no signs. It's the same wound, basically wearing different clothes.
You're
You
talking
get
about
what I'm
cycle.
saying?
You're talking about someone not getting it or someone being in a cycle. Which one are you talking about right now?
Yeah, so the first one is someone not getting it. You'll still see progress even if it's slow. Someone in a cycle, it's just repeating itself. You know, it's just different.
And it depends on how you interpret it. It
Um,
depends on how that person that is doing the diagnosis of whether a person is in a cycle or a person that's just not getting it. Where are you looking at it from? Are you
so I
biased
think
or
it would
unbiased? So,
I think it would be off of observation and action. So when it
so you're
comes to
missing what
a
I'm saying.
cycle, hold
No,
on.
you're
When it
missing what I'm
comes,
saying. When I
okay, give
say
me 1 second,
okay,
please.
yeah,
I'll be brief. So when it comes to a cycle, basically a cycle is always going to lead back to the same beginning. Does that make sense?
hmm
Like you may see something, it could be okay, something appears like it's okay,
hmm
and then you go through a rough time, and then
hmm
it appears okay again, and
hmm
then everything shuts down, and then you shut down for so long, and then you pick it back up because you okay again, and then you go through something and you're okay again, and then you shut down. So you basically end up again back in the same space. That's the cycle. Does that make sense?
it did. I'm
When
waiting
you
for
end up back at the beginning, the same thing, no matter how good things may be for a moment, it
hmm
ends up with the same. Yeah.
So tell me okay, now give me the person that's just not getting it.
So someone who's just not getting it, I
hmm
would say they are, again, they may be slow or unclear on some things,
hmm
but you will still see some type of evidence that they are actually trying to grow or trying to respond differently.
But if I'm not getting it, that means that I'm failing at the growth.
But again, there will be evidence of the effort.
But I'm still failing at it. So what would be the difference?
So
What
that's
would
what
be
I'm
the difference
saying.
between hope?
When it's not a cycle, when
But
it's
listen to my
someone that's
question.
just not getting it completely, right?
But they share similar traits, is what I'm
I
saying to you.
agree.
So the
Mm-hmm.
point that I'm making is, what is the determining factor to know that someone is not getting it and someone is in a cycle?
I thought I explained that. No.
What I'm saying to you is, when we explain it not being in it, it's very easy to break it down in a lab. When you're in the real world, it's not that easy. It's not that
I
easy.
basically gave
No, you're missing what I'm saying. What I'm
two
saying to
examples.
you is,
I'm
you did.
not.
You- What I'm saying to you, Mo,
Mm-hmm.
I get that you gave the breakdowns. I understand that you gave the breakdowns. But to actually talk to somebody that's been in a funk or in something, it's not that easy to decipher whether they're getting it or it's a cycle. It takes
Mm-hmm.
time to understand that, is what I'm saying. You gave definitions of it, absolutely. But when you're in it, it's different. It's like when someone tells you, hey, load it, like if you're in basic training and they say, hey, load this pistol and shoot down that range. Mo
So I
loads the
would.
pistol and she shoots
Mm-hmm.
down the range. Now they start putting you in situations where people are shooting back at you and they tell you, load the pistol and shoot down that range. And you got shrapnel around you, you got people yelling, it's a different vibration, a whole different game plan when you're in it than outside of it. Does that make sense? I didn't say
Yes.
your
But
definitions was wrong. I'm not saying your definitions are wrong. Your definitions that you gave are correct. What I'm saying is when you're in it, they both can look the same. And
I
sometimes
get
it
it.
takes time to decipher which is which.
Mm-hmm.
You don't just jump in and be like, okay, man, Duke, you doing this on purpose, my G.
But
Sometimes you
I
may
do
be able to see
believe
that.
when you pray and you ask God for clear signs,
Mhm.
He's not a God of confusion.
Right?
Um, and the veil starts to fall off. So
I mean, whenever he
there
gives you
would
the
be
sign, if he
there would be the determining factor. Prayer
okay,
and discernment is the main one,
right.
but to speak directly to the conversation. So even if the growth is slow, like someone who's not getting it, they're not gonna grow fast, but that whatever little growth is, it's going to disrupt that pattern, no matter how small it is. And when you're dealing with cycles, cycles preserve those patterns.
It can, it can at
Mm-hmm.
times, and then again at times it can be different. Because here's
Mm-hmm.
the thing, both will mess up sometimes in ways that look repetitive. The one is a cycle, falls back into the same trap. The one learns, falls while trying to move forward. It looks the
Mm-hmm.
same, right?
And
But they're
it
different.
takes,
They look the same, but they're different intentions. They
yeah,
both feel frustration. Why do I keep ending up here? Why can't I get this right? Same question, just in different thought processes, right?
mm-hmm.
Because it's different. The way we're looking at it is different. Both experience that internal tension. One feels stuck, the other feels stretched out. They both need grace. Nobody grows without grace.
Right.
So
And when it's
although
only one person giving it, then
that's a
that's
problem.
where the
Oh yeah,
issue
yeah, that's a
comes in.
problem.
Like if the other party
Absolutely.
is always frustrated, dismissive, being an avoidant, you can't grow. And eventually you just have to learn to say, okay, I will speak to this person only as needed
We could do that
for
too.
the sake of peace.
Absolutely.
But Blue Jay made a comment. She said, "I know we are supposed to live in the present, but sometimes I realize my previous experiences alter my current views. So I try to pray about letting go of my subconscious interpretations." That's
Yeah,
good.
that happens to yeah, that happens to the best of us, man. That
Mhm.
happens to the best of us. It's hard to just extrapolate the lesson and let go of the emotionality of it. It's hard to do that.
Mhm.
And we all fall short of that, right? Um, it's hard. And that's what the enemy holds us on to. He holds us to the emotion portion of that past experience that we had when there's something in there that the Lord wanted us to learn. He wants us to hold on to that because he gives he gets access to us that way. And it doesn't mean that we're emotionless. We're never going to be emotionless. But when we let a moment control how our direction, that's a problem.
Mhm.
You got a fan on or something?
I have my heater on. I'll be cold. My boys are normally like hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there is a difference between being emotional and being unstable. So having emotions, it just means you're aware that you are present in what you feel and connected. Being unstable means you are being controlled by those emotions without being grounded. And we also can't ignore why, the why behind a lot of those things too. It doesn't just come out of nowhere, you know?
Absolutely. One, yeah.
And I don't believe, because we do live in a world where people will try to shame you for having feelings.
I
You
don't know
know,
who
I
I don't
think
know
that you
who would
should only.
shame.
Well, I'm just saying we see it. That's the world we live in. Live
Yeah.
in. Get over it. Um, it is what it is. Like people shame you for
I don't think that's a shame. When
being
when
emotional. Well, I'm
someone
saying
says,
people do it.
"Well, yeah, yeah, no, people will shame you definitely."
Yeah,
If
but
if if it's 10 years and we're still in let's say, we're in an emotional situation and I'm being very extreme, and it's 10 years and it still moves you as if it happened yesterday, then we have a problem.
we talked about that on my show last week, and some
Did
people
you?
did not agree.
Okay.
Um, I know some people said like everybody's healing process, as far as their time frame, is different depending on the severity of the offense.
Absolutely.
Sometimes it may take 10 years depending on what happened for a person to heal.
Well, we're talking again, we're talking apples and oranges in the acts in what I'm saying is we deal with the you know we're dealing with the rule, right? We're not talking about outside of the rule. We're talking about generally speaking.
What do you mean?
Generally speaking, There are situations that are so traumatic and so terrible that it takes years to happen. That's
Yes,
not
that's
that's
the
not
part I was speaking
right.
to.
I'm talking to the rule. That's not every day, right? That doesn't happen every day to people. Uh, 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 where one person every day is going through something that is traumatic every day that takes 10 years. I hope I'm explaining myself correctly, right? That we're talking about regular situations that people go through day in, day out, things that we have, hurdles that we need to climb that we make bigger than what it really is. And that comes from one, not having an emotional, stable foundation, not having coping skills, not having systems set up to help us deal with these certain things. And sometimes we learn late in life. So there's a lot of moving parts to all of these things that we have to try and figure out. Why is this man or woman still stuck on this? Why are they still stuck on that? Keeping in mind what you just said, there are certain situations where people, it takes time. And we just have to be patient enough to say, no matter what you go through, I'm going to be there with you. Now,
Yeah,
if that
most people
person,
don't, they'll speak that language, but their actions don't really show. And as far as expressing or pointing out like the norm or the general thing, I also think that it's important to address the uncommon thing as well. You
absolutely,
know, it's important to address both sides because sometimes people are left in pain because they may have been the one that experienced something so extreme that people don't ever address. Those things also need to be handled with care. So sometimes I like to speak outside of what the norm is.
I get it.
Yeah. Hmm. Blue Jay said, "Thanks, Bolo. I appreciate the guidance."
You're welcome, Blue Jay. And
Of
Blue Jay,
course.
you can email me if you want to talk or anything like that, and or you can get the Village Hotline. The numbers in the description of all the shows.
Or you can put it in the chat too.
Oh yeah, you can put it in the chat.
I
I'm
don't
just
know
saying.
it.
What chat?
Oh, I
You
was
talking about your
saying in
chat?
mine, just
Yeah,
in
you
case
can put it in
somebody
your
needed
chat
it.
if you
Yeah.
want. If oh, you talking about the phone numbers?
I don't know your email. I don't know
Oh,
the number by heart either.
hold
I guess
on.
I could go to it if.
No, no, I can get it. I can get
Oh,
it.
okay.
I'll get it for you. You shouldn't have to do that. Do, 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 do.
Yeah.
What's the temperature over there?
Where I am, I
Yeah.
don't even know. It may be in the 60s tonight,
Good God.
but it'll be tomorrow probably in the 80s. Hey, Mr. Center of the World. Good to see you. Yeah, but when it comes to
It's 30 degrees.
emotions, like we also have to pinpoint that some people are also emotionally unavailable, and people think that because they may not be as emotional as you that you're emotionally unstable. We're all wired differently. As long as you're not lashing out and you know how to control yourself, some people just feel more deeply than others. That's all.
This is true.
Hmm.
Look at you dropping truth today.
Every day, sir. No, I'm playing.
It was a joke. I guess do 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 do
Yeah,
do.
but that was a good dialogue. The difference between patterns. I mean, the difference between a cycle versus someone not getting it at the time. Hmm.
Yeah, helps us to give us clarity.
Yep, it was. I try to think of topics where I can address relationship issues and still keep it Bible based.
What do you mean?
Uh, just like
Unpack.
a topic, it could be about submission, but I don't want it to turn into a gender war. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah.
Well, I think if you
Mm,
if you set up the rules and you set it up a certain way, I think that it wouldn't be.
I don't know. I think I'll do it next, probably next Sunday. Um, Yeah. Did you find it or
I did. I'm just typing it in.
okay?
I'm not as savvy
Brandy
as you
really
guys.
blessed me when he said, I woke up years later
Yeah, that's
from a
crazy.
brain bleed and a coma, and I'm still here. That is such a
See,
huge
that's
testimony.
crazy. Let me ask
Oh
you a
my
question,
God.
Randy. Were
He
you
went to
connected?
sleep.
Oh, he went
Well,
to
maybe
sleep. Because I was gonna ask, was he connected to a respirator and all that stuff? Because that's another reason why, I'm kind of on the fence. Like when people are on respirators to just unplug or whatever the situation might be.
not. What do
I
you
gotta do a
mean?
little bit. Like, there'll be some people that are on respirators, like they'll be in comas or respirators for years, like he was. Well, I don't know if he was on a respirator, but for years. And then they'll come out of it.
Right. So when
You
do
know what
you
I'm saying? So
decide?
that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. That's why I'm on the fence with that because, how do I know that this guy or gal ain't gonna come out of it 8 months from now? You know?
Okay, so my dad was out of town and my
Uh-huh.
cousin called me. She said, "You need to tell uncle to get back to Dallas because my mom is now brain dead." So we're in the hospital, everybody's praying. Um her best friend was crying on her knees praying like, "God, you're going to bring her back." And the doctors were like, "She's not coming back." And she argued, yelled at them like, "The God that I serve works beyond the natural and he speaks to the supernatural no matter what is going on in the body or in the brain." So when does it become in denial versus I'm trusting God?
I don't know.
You
That's a
get what I'm saying?
that's a
Because
good question.
she
That's a
did
good
not, but my cousin
Did they come
even
back?
she was like, no, she didn't. They pulled the plug. So my cousin was like, my mom is gone. We gotta pull the plug.
I mean,
And the her
uh,
best friend was like, you're not giving it enough time. You gotta have more faith.
that's a good one. I don't know. I guess, again, God, I've
Yeah,
seen
he
I've
Vaughn
seen
said
God.
it's the difference though. If you're brain dead, no brain activity. Yeah, that's true.
Well, here's my thing. I've seen God do some things in some people that is crazy. These
Hmm.
people, they shouldn't be here. So I don't lock our father into, they being brain dead. This dude walked into work and woke up years later.
Mm.
You take what I'm saying? That's crazy. He walked into
Mhm.
work to put in 8 hours and he walks out of work years later. That's crazy in itself. Right now, I know that there's certain circumstances that go to that. I get it. You know,
Yeah.
Lord raised the dead, baby. He raised the dead. And a lot of the times, this world speaks to the physical because even doctors will tell you, hey, listen, man, we did enough. If you guys are praying people, you need to pray. There's some doctors that'll tell you that.
Of
We
course.
can't do no more. So I guess we would have to look at each situation, individually to look at the circumstances to say, yeah, this person is
Hmm.
physically gone, or listen, man, we can try. That's so hard. That thing, see,
It is.
that's very hard. That is very hard.
Hmm.
Damn, that's hard
It is hard.
because you hear of people.
Hi, Dan.
You hear. Let me see, man. Let me ask Google this. I don't want to
And
just.
then do not resuscitate on me. I'm sorry.
Wow,
I'm serious.
wow, that's crazy.
Mm-mm. Maybe because I lost somebody, like they were doing that and then they broke his breastplate and he didn't make it anyway.
That's crazy.
What, do not resuscitate?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Vaughn said You have those who are brain dead and they're organ donors, and the family decides to let them go to allow them to donate their organs. The hospitals will also push that if they see that you are an organ donor on your license.
Absolutely.
I'm just
They'll
saying
kill you.
that's why I stopped doing that,
Yeah, you can't do that because if they need
especially with
a
health already
spleen,
being compromised.
if
I'm
they
not
need a
putting that on my
spleen,
license.
they need a
Yeah.
spleen. They're gonna say, "Yeah, Bolo said he can give us the spleen. Let's hit him
Mm-hmm.
with a car." So here's what
They will.
Google said. Google said brain death is formally defined as irreversible cessation of all brain function, meaning recovery is considered medically and legally impossible. While cases of recovery following a brain death declaration exist, they often stem from misdiagnosis, where patients were in a deep coma or vegetative state rather than true brain death. Medical census,
Mm,
according to established medical guidelines, brain death is final. Once the brain stops working, it cannot be restarted, and there is no treatment to reverse it. Misdiagnosis and reported cases. In rare instances, individuals diagnosed as brain dead have recovered, such as Zach Dunlap in 2008 and TJ Hoover in 2024, raising
mm,
questions about testing procedures, controversy, and debate. Some experts, such as Dr. D. Allen Schumann, argue that rare cases of long term somatic survival where a brain dead patient continues to grow or function suggests that not all brain death diagnoses are truly irreversible.
mhm.
So, from what I'm understanding, it, I would get a second and third opinion because they're saying here that some people, some doctors can misdiagnose a person being brain.
Yeah.
So, I wouldn't go with the first doctor. I would have several doctors look at this situation from different perspectives to give me a better understanding. Because listen, information is free. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So the more information that you have, the better decision you'll be in a position to make a better decision. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Vaughn said, when I was a surgical technician, we used to harvest those organs from those patients. It
yeah,
was definitely an interesting process. Sometimes I look back and don't know how I was able to do that job. Wow, right.
it's crazy. I was watching, like, a lot of these TV shows, they take real situations and they dramatize it, right? And I was watching this one episode of House. Are you familiar with that show, House?
I've never watched it, but I've heard of it.
Yeah, good show. But anyway, was it Law and Order, one or the other.
Then I have a question about the convention and how I should handle something. But go ahead.
So this doctor was getting sued. So
Hmm.
doctors, they have malpractice insurance and all that stuff.
Right.
So his malpractice insurance was very expensive. So the hospital that he went to was like, listen, man, we can't back you. You're too expensive. But we do have a donor. Like, you have rich people that donate bread to hospitals. And this
Right.
one rich dude needed a heart. And he said, if you can get me a heart for this cat, we'll match whatever you such and such. And he wind up falsifying paperwork saying someone wasn't going to make it and getting that man that heart so that he can get that paid. And long story short, they caught him. But these things happen, man.
Yeah, they do.
You know, they happen.
Hmm.
So I would get two or three opinions before I would pull the plug. That's me.
That makes sense. Hmm. Blue Jay said, they also see people die every day in hospitals because they couldn't get a donor. So I don't always assume that the healthcare provider's intention is in bad faith. It depends on what they gain from it. They oh, okay, it's the same comment. Um, yeah, I guess it typed it typed a lot of times. Okay, so all this week I'm singing at a convention, right?
Okay.
The church that I attend, time management is just something that we all got to pray about and do better with. I admit, right?
Okay.
However, the worship leader, the minister of music, I look at my phone after I've dedicated time to the convention.
Right.
Okay, I'm already tired, been at work all day. You could hear it how I started the stream.
Right.
So
Def-
I'm tired. I'm sacrificing my time. I know that he said we really need you to sing at the convention.
okay.
Okay. I
Right.
did my due diligence. I took the time out like in advance 2 weeks ago, so it wouldn't be any issues.
Right.
Okay. I had already said I'll be there around 6:45. I'm
Okay.
leaving work early. I normally don't get off of work until 8. So he's like, okay. We had choir rehearsal Tuesday night, and it's just like lack of consideration with him. So he was like, hey, Mo, you're not here. I told him that at 8 o'clock, I get off of work. I could probably be there around 8:15, 8:18. You're not here. I'm wondering, is this still the plan? So he sent me a screenshot of me saying, I can make it in advance at 6:45. That made me mad. I said I was referencing that towards the actual convention, which is Wednesday through Friday. That
hmm
was not pertaining to rehearsal.
Okay.
So I'm already frustrated because I'm tired.
Right.
So I'm just praying like God, help me to deal with this better. So when I get keep in mind he's late every week. Um late every week. I get there before him.
Okay.
So all of a sudden we have a convention and we have everybody coming from all across
Different
the
parts
country.
of right. Different parts of the
South
country.
Africa, is it Guyana?
Ghana.
Uh Ghana. That's what I thought. I don't know why they say Guyana, it's Ghana. So they coming from Ghana, Cape
Guyana's
Town, Cape
Guyana's in the
Town.
South America.
That's okay, yeah. So just all over the world, basically,
Okay.
with this convention.
hmm
So you pick tonight to be on your P's and Q's. And when I saw that text message, because when I got there, so I told him I could be there at 6:45. I didn't get there until 6:53. I did pretty good.
Okay.
Okay.
What
So
time was you supposed to be on stage to sing?
7:30. That's what's also messed up. They are rushing everything. We had to learn 8 songs in one
Right.
rehearsal. One
Okay.
1 hour rehearsal. I said I'm not used to this. I'm not like, and I believe that when God calls you to leadership, you also have to have patience.
Right.
You don't get to complain about sound and you're not even
There.
really dedicated to what you've been called to do. But
Right.
that's a whole other subject. So I look at my phone and I was there. I was like, hey, can y'all start the song over? I said, because when I got there, they were ending the song. And he was like, I'm trying to see if we
This is
have time.
rehearsal, right? This is rehearsal.
Yes. So the
Okay.
minister of music's brother is my best friend.
Okay.
So but he over all the musicians. So the brother that I go back and forth with, he was like, I don't know. I hadn't looked at my phone yet. So I asked the bass player, which is my best friend, I said, can you go over the song? He was like, of course I can. What time is it? I was like, it's 7:07. They don't get there till almost 8 anyway.
Okay.
So he said, we have time. I look at my phone. He said, this is a huge disappointment. You guys need to take ministry sit more seriously and do better with your time. Keep in mind, he doesn't have a job. He doesn't have any children,
Come on,
nothing.
son. Come on, baby. You need to manage your time better,
He's
kid.
late every week. So my thing is, if you displayed that in the way that you lead, I would understand that text message.
Okay.
So how do I not get offended? Easter Sunday, church starts at 11:30. We're outside. He texts everybody be there at 10:30. He's not there. They waited on me to unlock the doors.
Wow.
Nothing was set up. The mics were not set up. So it's like I want
Okay. Do
to
you? Let me
help
ask you this: when he does
because
these,
the youth depend on me a lot, right? And it's like I'm there to serve. Like God has led me there. The youth text me all week, like, we really need you, Mo. Can you please make sure you help us? But there is like I'm so frustrated with the leadership. Does that make sense?
yes. So I have a question to ask you. When
Hmm.
he does what he does, like not showing up at 10:30 to open up the doors, setting up the mics, do you address that to him?
It Hey, I didn't say no names, 84. It's all good. And I did not tell all the church business. Okay. But do I address that to him?
Yes. Do you pull him to
Um,
the side to say,
okay,
"I'm not Jay?
so
Listen, man, I got a lot
I
going on."
don't know how to do that without him becoming offended.
Well, this is what I'll say to you. Okay, you have two things going on. The
Hmm.
first thing you have going on is what's going on in your life. You got a lot going on, especially with the day being busy and all that stuff, right? And um him not understanding, because I'm gonna assume, and you can correct me, does he know what your situation is as far as your work situation, your children, all that? Does he knows that? Does he know it or no?
100%.
He does know. Okay. So here's where the issue becomes. You haven't shared with him your frustration, because
Hmm.
it sounds like to me, and I could be wrong, it sounds like to me your frustration comes from him continuing to do what he's doing, but yet expecting a different results from you, while he's not living up to the same expectation that he expects you to have. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yes. And it's also, they only partially pour in when there's like a big conference or people coming. Other than
Do-
that,
They don't
so
do
it
that.
just seems more so
So,
like a performance.
so my question to you is, well, question, have you brought that out to him?
I've stated that because everybody that's up there cannot sing. And I try to put myself in the same box. I'll say, we really need more rehearsal. I'm not a professional. I need to rehearse. And it has to be more than once every 3 months.
Yeah, even
So
professionals rehearse. So yeah,
that's what I'm saying. That's what's so crazy. And then you got people up there that can't really sing. So that's,
I
you
think that
know,
a lot of your frustration comes out because you haven't had that communication with them. I think that
probably so.
you need to pull them to the side and have that conversation with them so you can get God involved. Right now,
Because it was like I was like, why does he have an attitude when I got there? And
mhm,
then when I went to my phone, it made sense. And then in my mind, I'm like, the audacity. How dare you? And I had to check myself because I didn't want to be there with the negative attitude. So I just started praying, you
right,
know.
right.
Um, but
But
yeah.
bring it to him and allow the Lord to work with him. Say, listen, I don't have a problem if I'm late, and you talk to me about being late. But my dude, you asking me to do things that you don't do. Christ is the greatest example of all, right? Why?
Hmm.
Because he came down and lived it. Now, again, we know that things happen, traffic, flat tire, all these things, but you are consistently late. And if I'm one of your main singers, dogs,
Hmm.
you got to give leeway. You know what
Thank
my
you.
situation
And
is,
and we're at work. Like we're coming from work.
right? You don't. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So these things, you have to put yourself in. There's no empathy. That's where empathy comes in, right? Empathy is I putting myself in your shoes, even though I have not gone through your experience, but trying to vicariously live through what you're telling me in the moment so I can sympathize with you.
Hmm.
So, I think you need to have that conversation. Well, I know you need to have that conversation with him. Pull him to the side. Is he a young kid too? Young cat?
No.
Oh, he's an older dude. Uh, I think you need to have
Late
that
40s.
late 40s. Yeah, you need to pull him to the side. Let me ask you this: is he masculine or feminine?
Hmm.
Because a lot of them church choir dudes be feminine.
I mean, I don't know who really listens to my channel, but yeah, you got it right.
Okay, so pull him to the side, and where there's
That's
no
one of the main issues too, you know.
what's that? Oh, I mean, I can dig that, but
Hmm.
pull him to the side. Right, give no ear for pride to get involved. Pull him to the side.
Hmm.
Maybe have some coffee, because I always found that on a full stomach, conversations go better.
Hmm.
You know,
84, leave me alone.
90,
But yeah, I agree.
96% of the time it works out that way, right? So, here's some coffee, or let me holler at you for a minute. Listen, I know the importance of you, minister of music. These dudes with these titles, man. Duke sound like he's in Star Wars, minister of music. You, he need a cape. But anyway, I understand that the importance. Example is important.
And
You
it
know,
was I think the most frustrating part was I sacrificed 3 days
right?
pertaining to work. And
Mm.
it's only maybe 2 hours out of the day that I'm sacrificing, but it's the fact that I
But it's a
took
lot because you got to
time
get
to
out your
do
house.
that.
You got to get dressed, get out your house, set everything up for your children, get out, go over there, do it. Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, so it was more so like you don't understand while I'm emailing and while I'm doing this, I'm also getting ready for what I'm doing. So I'm working and I'm preparing for the conference.
How did the conference
And
go?
while we sounded great.
Oh,
The message was great. We sounded great. It's just I guess the mindset behind everything. And then his delivery. There was like no self-reflection
wow.
at all. He was like, we have to do better. And I noticed nobody responded to that message either. You know.
Are are they afraid of him? Not afraid like you gonna beat
Not
them down, but
afraid.
afraid. But you
The
know what
only thing I'm afraid of, if I'm honest, that's
is
why I don't like to get mad.
was
I will
that?
go clean off.
Nah,
I
that's
already
what I was
know.
saying
So
to you.
that's why I have not said anything because I will like once I'm there,
Well, here,
um,
take this
it's
position.
not good.
Take this position. Okay. Here's the thing. This is what I learned. Okay. I learned that I remember uh I was going to work and
Hmm.
I left I left my wallet at home. But I had enough money in my pocket just to get through the day or whatever the situation might be. So anyway, I could have turned back around, but I'm like, man, I ain't doing that. I'm going to work. Went to work. Long story short, I lost my book bag, which would have.
Mm,
So sometimes things happen and sometimes we have to let it play out to
hmm.
understand, right? So I'm saying that to say that I've learned on my short 53 years on this planet, I don't let those things move me.
Hmm.
I get there when I get there. How about that?
That's pretty much what my mom said.
I get there when I get there. I'm not going
Hmm.
to let this dude make me pissed off because you know what's going to happen. You're going to make a mistake. You're going to rush. You're going to not see a car, God forbid, and all that stuff. I get there when I get there. If I get there in time to sing, I get there in time to sing. At the end of the day,
Hmm.
we 10% of this thing is how life hits us, 90% how we respond to it.
Hmm.
Don't
That's
let
true.
that dude, don't let him pull you off your kilter. Don't
That's
allow
true.
him to move your day.
So okay, so if you were in my shoes, you would just let it go.
I,
You would not address
no,
it.
no, I would have a
Okay.
conversation. Wouldn't be like, yo, my G, let me explain something to you. Let me holler at you for a minute. Because you need me more than I need you.
Mm.
Now I'm not gonna come with that attitude, but I'm just being
Of
100.
course not. Hmm.
I'm not coming with that attitude. But at the end of the day, I'm the lead singer, dog. And no one else is gonna tell you, but I'm gonna tell you.
And the
I-
pressure of that too, like I notice if I say like I can't make it
They
this
pressure you.
Sunday, he'll go from he'll have the song sent out to okay, I'll be singing solo this Sunday because I can't make it. I want the praise team or the choir to be able to sing without me. That's a
But
lot
here's
of
the
pressure.
but here's the point. Well, the Lord puts pressure on those that He know can handle it. So He knows you can handle it. Here's the thing: you need to holler at him. You need to pull him to the side and just be like, "Yo, my G, listen, man. What's pissing me off? What makes me upset is that you expect me. I'm not going to even talk about everybody else. I'm talking towards me. You expect me to live to a standard that you're not setting yourself, and you're the head.
Mhm,
That means you should be at the church first, and you should leave last. You're
mhm,
the head of the music portion of it. You're the minister of music.
mhm.
Minister. That's a heavy name. That's damn. That's a bang. That's a banging name, man. When you say the minister of music is coming in, Duke should just float in. But anyway,
And his
you're the
voice
minister.
is,
You-
and that's another thing. He been singing probably since he was like 3 or 4, right? So he can really sing. I give him that.
The minister.
You have, yes, you have
Oh,
to also consider that everyone can't outside of me. You get what I'm saying? Like
no,
me
I
or him,
don't.
it
Why
may
they
be
on the
one
choir?
other person. So it's like it's like, oh, I got it. Y'all just no. You have to consider the entire.
But why
Um,
are they on the choir if they can't sing, my G?
People love being in the camera, unfortunately, and I actually have to put the fan over my face because I don't want to be in the camera. I've already told them that. I'm up here to just use the gifts the Lord has given me. I love when they arrive late so they can't film because we open up service. But
Oh,
I
okay.
can't stand it. And it frustrates me when I hear more of the attention on so what's our colors for Sunday versus do we have the songs down?
This is the
So
this is the performance that we talk about all the
I
time, right?
questions people motives. I don't need all of that. You get what I'm saying?
I dig it.
I just don't. And then the rules, and I'm gonna leave it alone. But the rules, I need y'all to
He
wear
said,
heels every night. Don't come in here looking casual. And we can't wear like certain attire at our church, like no pants or whatever. I respect that. But to tell me that I'm gonna wear heels every night, I said, you know how I get down. I gotta be comfortable. We stand up for long periods of time. It's not a show for me. I don't need all of that. So he was like, I understand. Like I had to tell him, you're not gonna tell me um
how to
what to wear.
dress.
Yeah. If I want to wear some cute little flats, I'm gonna do that. Leave me
Uh-uh.
alone.
You can't wear flats. You gotta have high heels on, son.
Uh-uh.
And they gotta be 6 inches, my G. Come on, son.
Not in the church
He
house.
said the minister of music said six
I cannot.
inches. He's the minister of music. Do you understand? The
That's
minister.
funny.
All right. So he
Yeah,
probably got a
but
card that
I
says that.
I do have to pray about how to address him.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Listen, go punch the
Hmm.
wall, get that aggression out of you. And here's the thing.
Because he's gonna do it tomorrow. Because I'm gonna be late again.
But here's the
I won't
problem.
be there at 6:30, and
But
I think that may be when I
but
say I
but
have a
here's the
job.
issue, Mo. Who has the problem? You or him?
Both of us.
Okay, let's unpack that. What's your problem?
My problem is you're not holding yourself to the same standard that you hold me or us.
Okay, is that really a problem?
It is when I'm um sacrificing my time.
Okay, so let me rephrase the question. Is it really a problem where it should bend you out of shape?
No, it didn't bend me out of shape.
No, I'm saying where you get upset and angry. It can
No,
frustrate you.
it frustrates me, but
Okay,
it's not like I'm just carrying it like I'm just so I just, because it just happened a
right.
couple
So
of
what
hours
I'm
ago.
saying to you is, but here's the thing: you're already allowing it to dictate the next day. Because what you just said is, I'm expecting it tomorrow.
No, I'm
What do you?
saying I know that I'm gonna be late tomorrow. So
But you expect him to be late also.
no, I expect him to say something else smart. And I'm praying about what to say because I may just hit him with, well, I have a job and
Well,
leave
how
it
the hell
there.
is he? What does he do? So the ministry pays him?
He's into interior design.
Okay, so that's his job. He designs stuff. Okay, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think you should have listen, if you can. I don't know if you can get there early. If you can, I would get there early and I would have the conversation with him. Pull him to the side where there's no pride or ego involved. It's just you and him,
Mm-hmm.
and you break it down. Listen, man, I don't appreciate the texts. You know, I got a life. Okay. Not only that, I got things going on, and
Mm-hmm.
I get here when I get here. A lot of the times, I'm the first here and the last to leave. You ain't. So
Right.
I'm not saying this to be disrespectful. What I'm saying
Mm-hmm.
to you is, have more consideration for something that you don't do that you're asking me to do. And
Mm-hmm.
I leave it there. Now let's go up, let's go into that room and tear the house down in the name of the Lord
Right.
and leave it with him. Let him handle it how he handles it. Well, you
84
know what?
said Bobo gonna get Mo kicked out the choir.
I'm not just look, or don't address it. It's up to you. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, sometimes, you're in the situation, you're at ground zero. Let me ask
Mm-hmm.
you this. Do you think talking to him would help?
Mm, that's a good question. I I don't know.
I would pray on it tonight, because from what it sounds like you're saying to me, and we could talk about it more on the
We've
back
had a
end,
situation where I actually walked out the church
I would
from
leave it. I
like
would leave it alone. I wouldn't even pay
just
him.
going back and forth with him
I would leave it
for
alone. I would leave it alone. I wouldn't
hmm
pay him no mind. You ever
and
you
just
ever
get
go to
there when
sleep?
I get there. Oh, okay, so I should only address it if he comes to me
No,
directly, right?
no. I mean, if he brings it to you, then yes. Then yes.
Hmm.
You ever go to sleep, and when you're trying to sleep, that little gnat that bothers you, he's buzzing by your ear, but you're so tired you don't want to open up your eyes to kill him, and you try to swat at him, and he manages to get away. After a while, what do? You just let him buzz, man. Let him
Mm,
buzz. And you know what happens? He fades to the black. He fades to the background. You don't even hear it anymore.
hmm.
Make him fade to the background. Come in,
And this is
do what the
another
Lord.
thing. Like if he doesn't get a response, he'll actually get on stage
And what? Say
and
something?
say it when church starts about how we have to be mindful of our time and he's not, it can
See,
come out rude.
see, me, I'm different. Because if he said that on stage, I would say, well, you need to be mindful of it too. That's what I
You would
would do.
say that from the audience.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you got the balls enough to say it on stage, I got the balls enough to say it to you on stage.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You're not keeping this within the choir. You're saying
Hmm.
it to embarrass.
Exactly.
So then I would say it's kind of crazy how you telling people to do stuff and you don't do it.
It's a huge contradiction, right? To say
Yeah. If
the
you're gonna
Lord
have
is
people,
calling for us to, He's a God of decency and in order, and we have to be mindful of our time.
word up. Come on, son.
Yeah, but
I would say it to him. Like, you're my dude. Listen, man. Listen. You need to chill with that. For real. You need to
Mhm.
chill with that. Again, it's inconsequential, man. You don't have to serve God in a church.
I know, and
You
that's
choose.
what
You choose. So here's the thing. I'm good. I'm good,
I
bro.
try to. That's what I say. The youth
Mm.
and
Oh, you're saying that the youth,
I'm
right. It would be more of
serving.
a hit to them.
I'm serving
So then why don't you
for
talk to the pastor?
the.
Talk to the head pastor.
Mhm.
Why don't you talk to the head pastor anonymously? Talk to the head pastor. Pull the pastor to the side and say, listen, man, this is starting to get
The
ahead.
only thing that is, so the head pastor is, are you ready for this?
Oh my God.
He's married into the family. So
Oh man, son, you're
he
making
took he took the leadership role after her father passed. So he stay in his lane
So
because
you
this
making
is
this
wife daddy
worse.
church.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, he's not going to him is really like
It's worse. You're making it worse. 'Cause then now they're
yeah,
gonna plot.
he mind his
So yeah,
business. He
just
preaching, he
just
just sit down. I mean, his wife is, you get what I'm saying?
I get it. So that's what I'm
That's
saying.
just how it
Go
goes.
do your thing and then dip set.
That's it.
That's it. Go in,
I
do your
left
thing.
early tonight. I was like,
Yeah.
mm,
If he talks or whatever, hey, listen, understand this. If I walk into a room and say all dummies, get up and get out, right? Are you a dummy?
mm-mm.
So it shouldn't offend you. So when he gets on the stage and say people need to be on time, it shouldn't offend you.
Is that a different scenario though? Because he's
It's the
actually
same
addressing me
scenario.
because I know
It-
that I'm not a dummy.
it's the
But in
same.
this scenario, I know that I'm late.
It's the
You get
same
what I'm
scenario.
saying?
Here, let me tell you why. You're late because of circumstances. You're not late arbitrarily like he is, right?
Hmm.
He's late every time or most of the time, according to what you're saying. You're late because of circumstances. Listen, I work, I got the kids, I got this, that, and the third. I got things going on, but I still managed to get there in enough time before we actually get up on set. I
Hmm.
still manage. So that's a different situation. Same scenario. So if he's saying, yo, cats need to be on time, he can't be talking to you. It's the same thing with me. I get to work early. I'm always early. If ever I'm late, they don't question whether
Exactly.
they don't question. So if they're talking about latenesses, I know they can't be talking about me.
Hmm.
Even if I was late that day and they're talking about latenesses, they ain't talking about me. You understand what I'm saying? So when he talks about that, it's not pertaining to you. It's pertaining to other people. And even if he's thinking about shooting shots at you, I don't let it bother me. I wouldn't
Hmm.
let it bother me because I know that's not what the situation is. And I'll keep it moving.
Hmm.
Don't give that guy the power because that's what you're doing. You're giving him the power to disturb your groove. Don't give him that power. You can
Hmm.
talk all you want. There's pertinent information that I need from you. What song we're singing, what key we singing in, what time I need to be there, and what time we go on set. This is the information that I need from you. All that
Hmm.
other stuff, pas besoin de t'entendre bagay comme ça. Fais mes bouches. Pas besoin de t'entendre. I don't want to hear it, dog. That's what I would do. I
Hmm.
talk to him in Creole. That's what I would do. I talk to him in Creole. Hey, listen, man, get away from me, man. Just
Hmm.
let me know the pertinent information. What time, where, what key, what songs. Okay, cool. I'll see y'all
Hmm.
later, man. I'm out.
And with this convention, so there's a service at 10 a.m. that normally lasts through maybe 1:30. And he knows my work schedule. He was like, "Oh Mo, you can just attend in the morning. You can sing really quickly and then leave before you go to work." And then when I really thought about it, I was like, "Yeah, maybe one day." And then when I thought about it, like I texted him this morning, I said, "I'm not gonna be able to make it. I do apologize. I have to maintain myself as well. My time is already stretched thin." And he was like, "Okay, thank you so much for letting me know," like with a heart and a praying hand. So that was cool. But I said, if I go one there and then run back to work, and then I have to, it's just too much. So I'll do the evenings, is what I've committed myself to.
Well,
But yeah.
listen, at the end of the day, if you think that having a conversation with him is going to, listen, I would have the conversation with him. You know what I'm saying? To
If he
allow the Lord,
mentions it again, yes, I'm
to
going to.
allow the Lord, to allow the Lord to work. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And say to him, yo, Duke, listen, I don't like the texts. Or however you decide to do it. Just address your issues with him and just say, listen, you need to understand that I got things going on, dog. And
Hmm.
there's moving parts to this. So I figure it out. But you
Yeah,
need to
everybody
understand,
is not able to sit at home and look at the clock until 6:30.
well, that's what you need. I wouldn't say that.
I'm not gonna say it.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Yeah.
say that. I would just say, Duke, listen, man, I got things going on. I'm speaking for me. I got things going on, dog. When I get here, I get here. I don't need the text being sent or whatever. I'm very aware of the times and the places that I need to be. I'm very
Hmm.
aware of it. Now, if you're asking or you're texting me just to say, out of worry, hey, Mom, where you at? I don't got a
Hmm.
problem with that. Don't send me a screenshot of me telling you I'm going to be there at a certain time when I'm not. Don't do that.
Hmm.
Please don't do that. And however you decide to go from there, I would pray before I talk to him now.
Right. Hey,
Because
Coach Fern.
chances are he's probably going to
Whether
say
I
something.
bring it up online or bring it up to him, that's up to me. But shout out to you.
Yeah, just, talk to him. Yeah, allow the Lord to work with him, man.
Hmm.
Too often we don't allow the Lord to get
And then
involved.
this was used for like dialogue for the show too. Shout out to y'all. I mean, it's just normal stuff that happen in churches. There's no perfect church.
84 said I knew the Haitian was going to come out soon as he sucked his teeth. Yeah,
That's
I,
funny.
I I couldn't do it, but some people, me, I wouldn't pay him no mind.
Hmm.
But she's looking at the bigger goal. The bigger goal is the youth need her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
that's why I'm
so
there. Like
she's willing to take
I
right. She's
absolutely
willing to
have the
take the L.
mindset
Right.
of I'm good. I read
Right.
my word.
But the kids
God
need you.
downloads to me. I don't ever have to set foot in another church
But
and
the
I will
kids
be
need you.
okay. But the kids
Right.
depend
Right.
on me.
Absolutely.
So that's why I'm
Absolutely.
there.
Absolutely. Yeah. Sometimes you got to take the L to look. Sometimes you got to look at the bigger picture. Absolutely, 100%. I can dig that. You know. However,
Hmm.
if it starts to get too crazy, I give the kids my number, so you holler at me. I can't
Hmm.
do it because my senility is more important. I
Hmm.
can't be good to y'all if I'm not good to myself. And if this dude is
Hmm.
putting me in a position where I'm starting to get pissed off and angry, and I'm singing the Lord's songs, and I'm angry, hey
Hmm.
Lord, and in my mind I'm thinking like, yeah, I would slap this dude if he said it's
Right.
counterproductive. It's counterproductive, you know. And the
Hmm.
Lord tells you, nah, you shouldn't be in that spirit, man. You know, that's why He made it so convenient and so easy for you to serve Him. You know,
Hmm.
so yeah, I would have the conversation with him ASAP. Don't wait.
Right. I
Don't
agree.
wait. You said you're gonna see him again tomorrow.
I got a scene right next to him. Does he? No, because they have a guest singer coming in tomorrow. He's not leading tomorrow. Friday night, like for the finale, I'm actually leading.
You singing the whole week?
And yeah, I'm singing the whole week, but I actually lead um Friday night, and I need my background to be right. Otherwise, I can do the song by myself like I
What you
did.
mean you need the background to be right? The background singers, the
I
people that can't
sing,
sing.
I sing the lead, and I also do the chorus if I have to. I make it
Oh,
work versus the back. Like we just need practice. I don't. That
okay,
messes
hold
me
on.
up if
Wait,
my background not on key.
can they sing? Yes or no?
The
You know what?
minister of
Don't answer that.
music.
Don't answer that. Don't answer. Don't answer it. Because you know what? The devil sometimes finds the stream into someone's hands, and
Yeah,
they don't
that's
answer
true.
it. Don't answer it. Don't answer it.
Everyone sounds great.
Yeah, don't do that either because that's you answering the question. Y'all sound good, man. Y'all all sound good.
We did really good tonight. I'm very grateful.
That's awesome. That
Hmm.
that is awesome.
Yeah, Coach Frank said kids expect authenticity and fairness. Absolutely.
Yes,
I
sir.
agree. Oh,
He
and
said,
Vaughn said, I think you should go to him first before you go to the pastor. Yeah, that's biblical.
yeah, but
If you get
we was
no
out.
good results from him, then I would say go to the pastor. But
Yes,
that's biblical.
yeah,
That's
she
true.
said that going to the pastor is inconsequential. She said that they family. But then again, he still. Let me ask you this. You know what? I'll ask you offline because again, you don't know who's listening. I ask you offline.
Hmm.
Yeah, but go to him. You need to start there. That's the starting of it. Go to him. Pray before you go to him.
I've done that before,
You spoken to him
and
before? How did it go?
yeah,
How did it go?
left me on red.
Oh, so it got heated.
No, he just I don't think that he's in a position where he feels comfortable responding
What do you mean?
because you know the wife's dad was the owner of the land, the church,
Oh, you
everything.
talking about the pastor? I thought you was talking about the minister.
Well, they're brothers and sisters.
Wait, hold on, wait.
So
The
the
pastor?
you told me to go to the pastor. I said,
No, no, no,
well,
no, no, no. That,
basically
don't go to the
he's
pastor.
married into the family.
Right. So
So
the minister,
he's
so the
respectful
pastor's.
because his wife is that was her dad who passed, and he was the pastor of the church, but they gave her husband the role. He
So
was
the
already a minister, so now
so
he's over
minister,
everything.
so minister of music is the pastor's sister. I mean brother.
So the minister of music, yeah, and the pastor's wife are brother and sister,
Ooh, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
they real close.
They real. Let me ask you this: does the pastor? I'll ask you after. Hold on. Online.
I
Does,
love
does
her, by the way. The pastor's
is
wife,
she fair? Is she fair?
she's fair, and she's like very nonchalant. Like she
What
just
do you
don't like dealing with a lot of, like she hates when things go left, but she has an answer for everything. She's absolutely fair.
So
Hmm.
she is fair. She's a
Because when
fair
me and
person.
him had our back and forth last year, she corrected him.
Okay,
And
so then
yeah.
yeah, all right. So there's light at the end of the tunnel. So what I would do is I would talk to him first, and if it didn't work, me personally, I'd probably go to the pastor's wife
Hmm.
and just be like,
And
listen,
then because, okay, that's another thing, because he is married, shouldn't I go to the wife first versus him?
no. Why would you go to her? She ain't the
Just out of
minister of music.
respect. I mean,
She's not the minister of music. She doesn't have the cape. He does.
no,
Why
I'm
would
saying if I don't get anywhere with him, because Vaughn said to go to the pastor.
right now I would go in that case he's right. I would go to the pastor. But being that you're saying that their their sister and brother, the minister of music and the head pastor's wife is a sister, that's kind of like, a shortcut. But
Hmm.
normally you would go to minister of music and then you would go to the pastor because he's the head, the covering of the church. But in this situation, I can just go straight to the sister after dealing with him, or you can go to the pastor if you choose.
Hmm.
You know, it would probably behoove you to go through the pastor because when the pastor has the conversation with his wife, I'm sure he's not going to add nothing to it. He's going
Hmm.
to be like, yo, Mo came to me and such and such. You need to deal with that. Go talk to him because we need her. She's a staple here. She deals with the children or whatever. And this is not just to say that we need her, so that's why we need to step to him. That's a problem. So
Hmm.
he needs to be stepped to. That's
That's
how I
true.
see it. But who am I? I'm not a minister of music. I don't have a cape. So
Coach Ferg said, speak to him with others present, not alone, with someone you trust, your sister. Uh,
that's
this
that's up in
girl
the
is not stepping foot in the church.
air.
She's just not. She
Uh,
already made that clear. Like, I have my relationship with the Lord, and I don't need, she doesn't believe that she need, and I agree with that. The church don't save you. The church is you at the end of the day. But yeah.
150%.
Mhm.
Yes, ma'am.
What do
Yes.
you think about that mindset today
Of what?
that people say like I don't have to go to church, which is fact. What are your thoughts?
I would ask them why. Why do you feel that way? Why? I get the
Mhm.
sentiment. I get it. But I would like to know why, because typically when people say that, there's something behind it. Typically, not all the time, but typically. Sometimes people don't want to deal with the performance and the nonsense and the rigmarole that goes down in it, right? But not all
Mhm.
churches are like that. So I would like to individualize and have or compartmentalize and have a conversation with that individual and say why.
Mhm.
And if they tell me because of this, that, and the third, and I'm like, okay, I understand, brother. But the Lord tells us to forsake ye not the assembly of one another. Church doesn't necessarily mean that building. Church is a
Exactly.
congregation of people that come together. Christ never taught in the church. He taught in the highways and the byways and the streets. So
Mhm.
church is a congregation of people. So if you have a core people that deal with the word and they meet, there you go. Because
Mhm.
there's a reason why the Lord tells you to forsake ye not the assembly. Because
Why
when
do
you go
okay?
when you
I
go through this thing, you're gonna need someone that understands and that can guide you through it. When you're by yourself, it's
Mhm.
hard to see everything from different angles. Go ahead.
Right, I agree. So Coach Ferg said if they band against you, you will be cast out. Pretty
Yeah,
much. I'll be
yeah,
okay though, but that
yeah.
that's absolutely true. So why do people when they reference that scripture, they tie it to a church building?
Because of how it was prepared, right? The Lord gave us a building. You look at the Old Testament, the tabernacle being prepared, and all these different things, and the uh, the time that He took in preparing the tabernacle, right? And the attention to detail that He took to preparing the tabernacle. Now, people take that and run with it in the aspect of it being a building, right? So
Mm-hmm.
when the Lord took His time to prepare the tabernacle, I'm talking about to the curtains, to the colors, and all that stuff. That's Him preparing you.
Mm.
That's Him being that uh, 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 focused, hyper focused on developing you, right? If He paid that much attention to an inanimate object, how much more His living church? Because He says that we are the temple. So the example that He gave in the building is meant to relate to, it's a shadow of us. So
Mm-hmm.
Him being so specific and Him being so this, that, and the third with the tabernacle is the way He is with us. He's very specific from the littlest thing to the greatest thing. When you hear the way He prepares it, He repeats the same thing 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
Like you and I would say, listen, man, what you did on that wall, do on the other 4. The Lord don't do that. The Lord will sit there and He'll tell you if He gave you 8 sentences in description for the wall on the east, He's going to do the same thing for the west, north, and south. I don't want no mistakes. I don't want no mistakes. So this is what I want. Okay, I want it to be purple, lavender, this color, that color, this color. And this is how long it should be. And this is where it should be placed. And this is how this should look and such and such and such. If He takes that much meticulous time in an inanimate object, how much more His living temple?
Okay, so from my interpretation, and I understand I could be wrong, when it's addressed in Hebrews 10:25, not forsaking the assembly of ourselves together. Okay, so that was written during the time when they were under a lot of pressure, right? So wasn't the point behind it, as far as forsaking the assembly, wasn't that about them not withdrawing from their faith when life gets hard versus it people try to make it seem like it's them withdrawing from a church building. when it's more so about keeping your faith through the pressure and
But
the
that
rejection.
wasn't the
Or is
question.
that out of context?
That wasn't the question you asked me. No, your answer to that question you just asked is in context.
Hmm.
But that wasn't the question you asked me. I was answering the question that you had asked before. But you're correct when it comes to
But my question was, why do they tie that scripture to a church building majority of the time?
correct.
So that's why I responded the way that I did, because it's more
Right.
so not it's more so about not losing your faith and becoming disconnected with the Lord, right?
Absolutely. It's more, in fact, of not losing each other. Right. So
Okay.
forgive me for saying this. The hell with the building. Building don't mean
Yeah.
a damn thing. What does the building mean? Right. It's the people. That's what's important. It's the people. Because if you take your congregation out and you go, let's just say one day they're fumigating the church and y'all go to the park. It's the same church,
Hmm.
isn't it? It's the same church,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Okay, so no matter where you go, it's about the people. It's not about the
Hmm.
building. See, with the building, how it's used today, it's used for money.
Yeah, it is.
The building.
And
See,
that's
when
why so
Christ,
many people
but
have
see,
left.
but that's why Christ taught in the highways and byways. Get money out of that. We teaching in the streets, baby. We teaching in
Hmm.
the park. Get me a building fund out of that. You don't need a
Hmm.
building fund. We meeting in the park. Oh,
That's why I said, like, that scripture, people try to say you got to go to church, forsake not the assembly. No, we are the church. We just have to make sure we don't dismiss God no matter what we face. And like you said, we have to continue to be there for one another. It
correct.
has nothing to do with the building.
Correct. That has nothing. The Lord tells you who could put me in a building made with man's hands. You can't.
Oh yeah, I love that scripture.
I'm too big. You can't put me in
Hmm.
that. How you gonna put me in that? Now you know what you can do with that?
Right.
You can charge people. That's what you can do. See, that
Hmm.
was the problem with the Pharisees and Sadducees. Christ came to take the power away from those leaders, air quotes, and give it back to the people. You're the church.
Exactly.
It's about
That was my
you.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And what they were looking at is like it's the same thing with Dathan. When
Hmm.
Dathan left, when they left Egypt, Dathan was a regular person,
Hmm.
just like everybody else. You gotta make it. You gotta get off your fat behind and go get a job and go and to eat. When he was in
Hmm.
Egypt, he was that dude, right?
Yeah.
When he was in Egypt, he was an overseer, right? He didn't have to do all that. But now that I'm in the wilderness, I'm just like everybody else. So where do you
Hmm.
think he wants to go back to? Egypt. So that's what the Pharisees and Sadducees were.
Hmm.
Under the
Vaughn
Roman
made a
Empire,
good. Oh, go ahead.
they had bread. They were given a certain amount of power.
Hmm.
So when Christ came, Christ yanked that power away from them. You're a man, bro. What power you got? You're a man. This information that I give is free.
Hmm.
Freely as I given, freely you should give. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Um,
You said Vaughn said something?
Vaughn said that was one of the major reasons for excusing myself from the choir. Too many did not take the ministry seriously. It became more performative than anything else. At some point, it didn't feel right.
That's a good
That's
point.
that's kind of where I am,
You're there
because
now?
since I was a little girl, I have loved singing, right? And
Mm,
when I'm singing, my mind is on the Lord.
mm.
It really is. Like, I don't need cameras in my face. I don't care about 50 different outfits that y'all come up with for the week. My mindset is not there. So it's frustrating. And then, and I'm like you said, you don't know who's, but one of them left a video and I sent it to my mom. I said, I'm really tired of this. And it was supposed to be a joke, like, of people running on top of the pews. One person on the video
What do you mean running on top
stood,
of the pews?
like, so the caption that the person left was, if y'all see me going in this week, just know that the Lord has been good to me and I
Oh,
can't contain myself. So they showed this man, everybody was running around the church. They showed this man, like, running on top of the seats, and then they showed another man like where they preach at in the pulpit. He was standing on top of the basically where the pulpit is, and they just made a joke out of it, and I'm like, this is so annoying. Like, everything is a show. Like, is that what the church has become, you know?
Unfortunately, the majority of it, yes.
Hmm.
Unfortunately.
I'm like, this is not funny to me.
Yeah, it's performative, man. People come
Right.
there, you know, air grievances and talk about people. Yeah, it's not about
Am
godliness.
I wrong for this? Because people say, and then we can end it, but people say, oh, it's about, it's not about how you sound. And I agree, right? As long as you are worshiping the Lord in spirit and in truth, that's all that matters. I still question if people know that that's not the gift that God has given them, as far as being able to sing or even carry a tune. My
Nah,
question is, why
uh,
are you up there? Am I wrong for having that
no,
mindset?
no, no. You're not.
Okay.
Everybody has a mind. If you can't sing, then you shouldn't. Listen, they interviewed Bruce Lee, and Bruce Lee said a dude came up to Bruce Lee and said, "I want to learn how to kick." Bruce Lee said, "Kick."
Mm-hmm.
I all I can teach you is technique. If you don't know how to kick, I can't teach you how to kick. You
Mm-hmm.
can't teach someone how to sing. You either have that gift or you don't. The only thing
Mm-hmm.
I can teach you is how to use your voice, how to breathe, how to hear sharps and flats and things of that nature. That's the only thing
Mm-hmm.
I can do. Hone your craft. But if you
Right.
can't sing, what you on stage for? That's like me being in the Olympics for track and I can't run. I just want to be
Exactly.
on stage. Make it go sit in the corner and here's the tambourine. Yeah, yeah. Shake the tambourine when I point to you.
Mm-hmm.
There's another talent that the Lord gave you that you need to hone. And a lot of the times, the gifts that the Lord gave us, we don't respect those gifts. I'll give you
Mm-hmm.
an example. Look at Diddy. Diddy was he had talent for music
Mm-hmm.
as far as producing. But what did he? He didn't want to be just the producer. He wanted to be the person in front of the thing, in front of the camera.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't want to be the person that does. He didn't want to specialize and hone the gift that the Lord gave him. And look what it's done to him. Look what it did to him. Look where he's now, the degenerate.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever your gift is, remember he gave that to you.
Harry is right. That's true.
There's nobody on earth like you. Use it.
Mm-hmm.
Mo can sing, you can't. Okay, what are you good at? I'm good at the drums. Then my G, you gonna play the drums, baby.
Right.
That's it. We all
God
find
bless
things
everyone with something, with a
with
gift.
something. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
No one comes to praise the Lord empty-handed.
Right.
No one
That's
does.
true.
So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Vaughn said, "This is what happens when you replace the altar for a stage. The show must go on."
Woo!
That's the word.
Yeah, Vaughn. You on it like a sniper.
Mm-hmm.
You are definitely on it, Vaughn. You're on it. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the difference between platforms, right? See, this is why order is important. See,
Mm-hmm.
when you go to these other different platforms, everybody's talking all at the same time or whatever, 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 whatever. See, when you're on platforms like this, you're going to get the information you need.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be extrapolated slowly so that you understand it. No noise in the background. 50 different people ain't talking at the same time. Nah, dogs. We going to do it the way it needs to be done so that if you have a question, you can ask it and get an
Mm-hmm.
answer. So,
Right on. I appreciate just, advice? Because a part of me was like, I'm just gonna say what's on my mind, and it is what it is, and that's not always wise. So
Well, I
yeah.
think you knew. I think you knew it already. I think you knew it. You just probably needed confirmation. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Because there's a way you can say something and it not be prudent in the way it's being said. Because when you want the situation to become better, you don't want it to become worse.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So to
Absolutely.
just say it
Mhm.
blah, you don't want to just say it blah. You know what I'm saying? Because then, you add it to the situation opposed to trying to create an environment where they get it. So
Mhm. Yeah. Riaz, I pray you feel better. He said, I'm doing okay, but I have a fever and a cold, but I will be okay. I know God got me. Of course. One last question. What do you think about the Trump thing? What he said yesterday morning?
what do you say? From what I understand, that Iran and America has come to a ceasefire for 2 weeks, I believe, or something.
Yeah, so it just seems like a lot of those messages, are they for attention
I,
or
you want my true answer?
yeah,
I don't care.
I really don't either.
I
But
don't care.
people
Let
tried
the
to
Lord.
make me care so much yesterday. I don't make me care. Like,
I don't
please.
care. The Lord is doing what He's doing, man. All
Hmm.
I all I'm doing is looking around. That's all I'm doing. At the end of
Right.
the day, what they're saying, I'm sure 98% of it is a lie. I'm sure of
Thank
that.
you. That's why I'm like,
98%.
okay.
You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, the Lord got it in control. I'm gonna leave it on Him, and I'm gonna
Period.
continue praying and doing what He asked of me to do. Period. I'm gonna leave the rest. I'm not gonna get caught up in that.
I agree. My love say keep me out of politics. Yeah, that's definitely not my lane at all. When they get to talking politics, 9 times out of 10, I may say 2 sentences. Yeah, but the shout out to the chat. It was a great stream. I will be back Sunday. If you guys, I will drop the link early. Um, Bolo won't stream with me Sunday, but I think the following Sunday we'll be back. So yeah, enjoy your time off with family. And thanks for doing the show. Are you awake? Are you alive?
Well, I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. Just thinking
Okay.
about something. I'm here.
Okay. Yes, Irving, politics is not my thing. Thank you, Irving. Thanks, everyone. And shout out to y'all for, was that Wednesday? The stream was so good. I was so nervous because I hadn't gone live by myself in ooh, a minute, months. No, I did one live stream alone around Christmas. They were pretty good. But yes,
Yeah, today was a nice show. It was nice and calm.
hmm it was. Thank you, Riaz. I appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Well, I'm going to end the show. I pray that everyone has a blessed remainder of the night. If the Lord says the same, I will be back Sunday at 10:30. I'm actually going to start going live certain times through the week. Uh, yeah, more than Wednesday, I think. But we shall see. God bless everybody. If you missed the topic, please feel free to hit the replay button. Yeah. All right. Did you final thoughts, Bolo?
Thank you guys for coming. God bless you. Good night.
Good night, everybody. I hate when I do that and I don't have my song. All right. Good night. Blessings.
Oh, oh. so please go choose safety. My Lord is willing, have you talked to him lately? I know we fall down and get up, yeah, we be tripping. Perking your ear until the Lord, can you please just listen? So much evil everywhere you look and turn. Watch it fight and pray, I'm gonna need you to learn. We won't win if we stay stagnant and won't rise above in a world filled with hate. Show more love. Show more love. In a world filled with hate, show more love. This ain't a game, y'all. Enemy out here stealing lives, y'all. Playing our face and we distracted when we see them take they fall, y'all. Wake up, we out here sleeping and the enemy steady creeping. Can you hear me?